Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Searching for the leak, my heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying, but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. All we want's a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time and time again. Our love for Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us thing. My body is ready for Switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for Switch 2. My body is red. My body is red for Switch 2.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintenbyte Podcast, episode 37. I accidentally hit that song. It's always supposed to be playing Mike Odyssey's on. He's not on this week, but I clicked the wrong thing and I'm like, well, I guess we're getting our bodies ready for Switch 2, which I feel like it's just appropriate all the way till even launch at this point, let alone reveal, because guys, we all know it's everywhere. If you're on social media and you follow anything Nintendo, Switch 2 leaks are just it's whatever. It's primetime season for it, I guess. Safe to say the most leaked platform in video game history before it's even revealed. I think
has to be.
I think that's
up there.
A lot of the leaks happen after reveal, but this time the leaks are all before reveal. Even the Switch, like it had a number of stuff on there we didn't know. We didn't have a dock leak. The thing we were going off of was a Nintendo patent with a fake leak.
Yeah, the patents. Yeah,
3D fooled us all. Like that's what we were going off of. We didn't have like exact. Here it is. What it looks. Oh, here's the gimmick. Here's the, like. This is insane. So yeah, we'll be talking about a shit ton of leaks. That's pretty much the whole episode. I tried to break it down into different topics. I don't know. It's going to go off the chains. It is what it is. So let's go around and introduce everyone. We have finally Favlam on. First time in 2025. How's it going?
Howdy. Good to be back. Yeah, that intro song was quite interesting.
Yeah, it's
been a minute.
Mike Odyssey can be a bit creative. HMK, how's it going, man?
What's good? It's good to be back here, and I'm ready to talk about all things Nintendo because those leaks are spicy. Man,
it is pretty bad.
Nintendo needs to wake up.
Gamebird, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Glad to be with the flock once again. Getting
Is
ready
that
to
the
talk some
Mario
Switch
Lego
2,
thing? The Mario World
some
Lego next
exciting
thing?
Nintendo stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, there it
Oh.
is. Then it's got the little crank. There it is. Yeah.
got a little nice little tongue action. Right there.
Heck yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Just seriously.
You know what I mean. Eric's back. How's it
Hello.
going, bud?
Good.
Hi, Eric.
Nice to have you back after a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Thunderstash Gaming.
What's up, everybody? Been a
I
crazy.
swear that
busy
stash keeps getting better and better, man.
Mm.
week. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Wearing his DuckTales 2 shirt. Hell yeah. And I'm back, everyone. How's it going? Welcome. Nintendo Prime over here. All right. Let's go ahead and do our little topic roulette quick. I'll just go last per tradition at this point. So how about Eric? How about you? Your first time back, baby. You go first. Which one do you want to take? Which one of these copious amount of Switch 2 topics are we running with first, buddy?
Oh, I don't know. There's this kind of Nintendo kind of goes with gimmicks. So let's
You did
let's
a
go with the
gimmick.
Switch
All
2.
right.
Yeah, there we go. That's gonna be a good one. Hell yeah. All right, he's taking the Switch 2 gimmick topic because we kind of think we figured that out. How's it going to be used? We'll see. Thunderstash.
I gotta go. I gotta go with my guys, Genki.
Yeah, there it is. Genki don't give a fuck. That
I
has
love
been
them.
very clear.
Yeah.
That has been very
Oh,
clear.
wow.
They don't
Yeah.
care. They're making some wild ass claims. Guys, did you know if you go to the black market, you can buy a Switch 2 according to Genki? Hey, it is what it is.
A Switch
No,
2
wow.
shell.
That was the
No,
coolest
they
news I
claim you
heard
can buy the
today.
system. They claim you can actually buy the system, and they have one. It's
There's no
wild.
way.
It is
If that's
There's
true,
no
this
way.
thing is ready to
No
release in
way.
like
Yeah.
March. I'm saying like it's coming out in March, and if they have one on their
Genki
hands,
does not give an F. By the way, they are not an official partner of Nintendo, so they don't have to give an F. But man, it's kind of wild.
they got the Switch somehow.
Yeah, if they're saying they have the Switch 2, Nintendo's knocking at the door tomorrow. If they're not already knocking
Right.
some heads at CES right now, getting their ninjas over there to be like, what is going on? No. That's why I'm kind of thinking they're lying, because they'll probably be safer if they were lying, but whatever, we'll see. Because yeah, we don't know, and it's not like I'm going to go to the black market and find out. So I'm not risking my computer right now. All right, so that's a good topic.
What if we go to the library?
Yeah,
Try
screw
and
this
use our
go.
computer.
Take down the whole public library by going to the black
Go to
market.
the
Like you order the
library,
Switch
this-
2, and then you go back to the library the day after, it's like already torn down. Just like
And
empty
then
lot.
Ninja-
There's just books everywhere. There's
Yeah.
just a bunch of lawyers running all over.
I don't know what you do is
Where are they
That's
hiding it?
awesome.
what you do is you take it, you get your laptop onto the cops network,
Oh,
do it PlayStation network.
that's not illegal or anything.
No.
All right. I guess I'll take the Nintendo Switch 2 power topic, because the final topic's just like everything else. And by the time we get to there, we might have covered everything, because I try my best to separate things out, but there's just so much.
Word.
Like when I say everything is leaked, everything but like the launch game at this point. And even that.
And the price. Wait. Do we have a price on that black market listing? Because
No.
how much can we trust it? Because he's like, oh, you guys really want this, so we're gonna sell for this
the
much.
black market pricing is obviously just going to be, if it's real, it's going to be thousands. You know,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
probably spending a lot. So I'm not worried about the black market price. There's some rumors out there on the price. Whether how much of them are true or not, who really knows? But just like there's a rumor that Metro Prime 4 might be the launch game. But again, rumors, it won't be the only launch game. It would have something with it, especially because of our first topic. They got to have something that features this. Although this could be used in Metroid Prime 4. Eric,
Could be interesting.
what are we talking about?
Well, as we all know, Nintendo likes to do gimmicks with their consoles. The Wiimote and other stuff. Apparently, with the Switch 2, you can use the Joy-Con as one of these things right here,
A mouse.
a mouse. According to basically every rumor and everything we've seen out there, there is a little sensor on the bottom that looks like an optical sensor from a mouse, and I'm guessing that's what everybody's running with that thought. So, what are the possibilities here?
HMK, go. Burst
So
the
Here you go.
many.
He's
Like
about to blow up.
I've seen a proof of concept video from Game Explain. It's like, yo, Mario Maker, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But
Oh,
I need
yeah.
y'all to understand. Kid Icarus Uprising HD with a mouse sensor, right, for aiming, and then you use the other controller for like everything else you would do.
Yeah.
And then there's also the possibility. I don't know how far, because I've been talking about this on my stream for a couple of days. I don't know how far they will go with this, and then also it depends on how clean you keep your fingers. So imagine one of the Joy-Cons as your mouse. And then, I've been seeing rumor speculation. The whole was, I'm pretty sure you guys heard about this, about the idea that the Switch 2 is going to be able to communicate with its dock in order to recreate kind of like the concept from the Wii U, right? So that you'll have the console itself, like, the touchpad on your lap or on your hand or anything like that. And then, the dock will be able to stream the game in real time, aside from what's on the console itself to your TV. And then imagine that you can use that as a type of keypad of sorts while you have the Joy-Con in your hand to replicate the idea of, typing on a keyboard and having this as your mouse. So like, you can play things like Marvel Rivals on Switch 2 or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot to work with when it comes to just this.
Sure. I mean, in situations like that, I think I just plug in the keyboard. Mouse and keyboard, by the way, is supported on Switch. There are some games that use it. Very few. So yeah, mouse and keyboard is supported on Switch. So this is kind of one of those things where maybe Nintendo saw, hey, some people are using this in some of the games. Maybe we should just give them the ability built in, make it easier. So even on the go, if you don't have your mouse, you'd have a quick mouse access. It was funny because when I talked about this on live stream, I asked the audience, I was like, hey man, how many of you guys play at a desk with a monitor? And there was a surprising amount of people that play their Switch docked at a desk. And I sat there and I'm like, you know what? That Nintendo might have been thinking about something here. Because like, you remember, they thought about tabletop mode, which again, not a lot of people use. It gets used sparingly. I think more people would be willing to use a mouse at a desk than even tabletop mode. So even in tabletop mode, you're at a table, you could use the mouse. So I think like Nintendo probably saw an opportunity here to be like, hey, we can come up with some crazy stuff here. Think about some of the mini games we could pull off with like Mario Party. And the thing is, optical mice, they're not like, they're actually like very flexible in the surfaces they can work on. Like I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I can put my mouse on my sweatpants and I can move it around. I don't even need like a table surface, so if it's like a quick mini game thing. Imagine that like they have this game where you put the thing down on your leg and you got to rub it up and down to do something in a Mario Party. Nintendo's gonna do something like that.
That sounds like, remember those old ass toys, those cars that you have to rev up a little bit and then you let it go. Kind of like that could be a mini game in a Mario Party game.
That could be, yeah. They can have that pullback function, yeah. So I'm thinking of all the games they could do in that, or like a WarioWare game is gonna do some crazy, dumb, really stupid. They'll make you use both of them as a mouse and have to like go like this and wax on or wax off or something. And, it's to me, I feel like this was a very smart gimmick. Assuming obviously this is all right. Nintendo hasn't officially confirmed, nothing's announced, but assuming that this is right, this is what all the leaks are pointing to this being correct. If this is the use, I think it's a smart gimmick because it doesn't take away from what Switch is. It doesn't change anything really. You still have your basic controls, right? You have everything that we've had on the normal Switch besides the IR camera, which was already barely used. And now you're just adding additional functionality. Like even think about it. We have Call of Duty coming. Imagine we can click headshot now.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is,
interesting. Yeah.
Take your current Joy-Con, turn it sideways, set it down like a mouse. It's actually not that uncomfortable. It's really not, surprisingly.
Does an optical sensor like that, would that help with like motion control, like almost kind of like Wii era type stuff? Like would that improve motion controls, like the accuracy of it, or do we I guess if you're holding it and you're covering it, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, the thing is like some people talked about, well, it's an IR thing, so could they use it for that? I'm like, yeah, but if it's shooting a literal laser, like like a mouse sometimes does, you can't always see it. Like I can't see it on this unless I look directly down it because it's angled a certain way because they don't want you to shoot it in your eye because it's not good for you. For that to work, they'd have to shoot it at a sensor that's over by your thing. Like that's how the Wii did it. And it does. I would venture to guess that's probably not the case because then you could only use it in one specific mode, whereas like it just being a normal standard mouse, you could use that in every mode. Some people have talked about how like some IR cameras can like do basically what the IR sensor did in the last one, sense when a mouths are open and shut. And also, I think Nintendo just abandoned that idea. I think they just said, hey, look, the old Joy-Con are still compatible. You can still connect them via Bluetooth. You can still play those games if you want. You'll just hey, we already released a charging stand, so we already gave you a way to charge it that you don't need. So because you buy Switch 2, you trade it in, have extra Joy-Cons, buy the charging stand for $30 or whatever. But I think Nintendo made a very, very smart decision here. I kept thinking like, hey, Civ 7's coming on Switch. It'd be so much better with a mouse. That game would be so much better with a mouse. And there's like a lot of games like that are actually just factually better with a mouse, even without a keyboard. Even just like moving with one stick and a mouse, there are a lot of games that would actually benefit from that. So again, it's always going to be an optional control. I don't know if there's going to be any game that's like you have to use it, but options are better than not having options. And so to me, this is a gimmick that already makes sense because it's a common item we all have used at some point in our lives. Most of us have. Obviously, there's some kids out there that have maybe never done anything but touch a screen, but or a touchpad. They've never used a real mouse. But I think that this is Nintendo. This might be a home run idea, if I'm being completely honest. This might be the way. Let's go to Thunderstash. What are you thinking here?
I mean, I think it's brilliant. And then you also think about like the cost factor. How much does it cost to do this?
Optical sensors are cheap.
Exactly.
You can buy like
so brilliant
for $5. It's like nothing.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy to think that no one's ever done this, right? Because when we first saw it, it's like, dude, this makes so much sense. This is
Mario Paint back in the day, baby.
Yeah, but I mean,
Nintendo mouse
built into a controller.
Yeah, it wasn't built in. Yeah. You had to buy an accessory.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And of course, I was just talking about that with both chats and Mario Paint, right? At the very least, bring it to NSO. The chances that we get a new Mario Paint, I don't know about that. But at least bring the original to NSO. There's still people who play that. Did you guys know that? Like, there's still people making YouTube videos.
Oh yeah,
like that are related to Mario Paint. That there's like a community.
That's insane
for Mario Paint. Yeah, it is pretty insane.
Oh, is that the same program you can do? You can like make the music tracks in?
Yes.
Is that? I think that's like the big thing that people do.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's okay.
You're right.
That is a cool game.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think about all the PC gamers, right? That prefer only playing with a mouse. And I gotta wonder how much this would attract them. For the most part, if you're a PC gamer, you're like pretty cemented in the PC scene. But I gotta imagine that this is definitely perking some interest from the PC crowd, which is great. Because that's a crowd that I don't think's really migrated over to Nintendo, let alone other consoles. So I thought about that as well. It's like, that's a good opportunity as well to bring some of them over. Maybe that'll get them to come over if they know they can play games like Call of Duty or Civ 7, like you mentioned, with a mouse setup that's actually intuitive and makes sense. So, I think if we also look at, what was it, Real Handheld on Reddit, the one who posted all the leaks.
Oh, Next Handheld,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him, and I mean, this is basically what he explained. That there was going to be a special feature.
Yeah, he said
at the top of the mouse,
at the top of the controller when you disconnect it. And what's the top of the controller you disconnect it? You turn it sideways. It's the rail.
Yeah, and he said he didn't want to give it away, but I mean, just looking at everything he said, that's a story in itself, because that's all coming to realization here. So yeah, I'm really excited about the mouse. It should be really cool. I gotta imagine, again, like you said, WarioWare. That was one of the games that comes to mind. Nintendo's going to do some really interesting, goofy stuff with it. It should be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. And like almost all the consoles support like a mouse and keyboard setup. But I think the idea is that if you have that mouse integration, just there, everyone has it. It's much more likely to be integrated in significantly more games.
Exactly.
That's the exciting part. Like Nintendo is just kind of like, hey, we're kind of merging PC and console together. Like, hey, what did we do last time? We merged handheld and console together. Let's bring a little bit of the goodness from PC over as well. Why not? And I think that's great. I mean, there's one PC handheld that does it as well, Legion Go. You could disconnect the right controller, and then they have a little stand you put it in, and then you can move it around like a mouse. Now, that's still not as intuitive as this because you still got to put it in an accessory. This doesn't look like you need an accessory. Now, Nintendo might sell accessories. People will 3D print, ones to make it even more ergonomic. Nintendo might sell an official Nintendo keyboard at some point as well. Just if you want to go mouse and keyboard in some games. As a PC gamer, this excites me because this brings everything I love together: traditional console and PC, and on the go, and easily docked, and all the Nintendo goodness. Come on. What? I was so anything. All right, PC, time to ship you off, selling your ass.
Jeez.
I can't help but think of all the mods, like people modifying the Switch. This is just a PC on the. It's basically it's just a PC on the go at that point. Like I don't know. Like it'd be wild to see some of the cool things people start doing with that. And the accessibility features of it is just going to be wild. It's like there's so many things that you don't even think about that now that you're like, whoa, wait, the realm of possibility is endless. I'm so excited.
Hell yeah. Gamebird, what are you thinking, bud?
Yeah, I love this idea. I'm definitely in the camp of they're going to need some accessories to slot it into to make it more ergonomic and comfortable. Especially if they're going to start like catering to, like HMK said, some of their other established properties like Mario Maker, where you're going to be spending a lot of time using it. Maybe they incorporate some ARPG stuff, some like Diablo-like games, and you could have one Joy-Con where you press in your skills and your other to point and click. I mean, everyone loves ARPGs, preferably on PC because it's so much easier to navigate your inventory and go through the menus. So I see a lot of really cool stuff with RTS's ARPG, like Pikmin. You can do some really cool stuff with Pikmin, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're
Pikmin
managing
5,
units
baby, let's
and
go.
stuff like that.
Good call.
So like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
so the application and it's Nintendo, so like when Nintendo does anything, there's always like a weird spin on it that no one sees coming. When they do their battle royale, it's Tetris and Mario 35. When they do their third-person online competitive shooter, it's Squids with ink, where it's not about kills, it's about ink coverage. So there's always some weird thing they do. I think about the Wii U and Nintendo Land and how cool the applications were with the gamepad, as well as the Wiimotes with that game. So I feel like there definitely will be some sort of selling title that goes along. Maybe it's their big mini game thing. Maybe it's their new Nintendo Land or their new Wii Sports that's going to utilize this mechanic. But I think it's really cool. I think it's a neat idea. Definitely think we need some sort of accessory to make it comfy because obviously the new Joy-Con is going to be bigger. We don't quite know exactly how it feels, but I could see how playing with like even 30 minutes on a sideways Joy-Con probably isn't ideal, to be honest. As cool as it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be third-party accessories that come out that you'll be able to plug it into. Obviously, people will 3D print all their solutions as well.
Do you think there'll be a first-party accessory, kind of like because like this accessory is included with your Switch, like when you buy it? Do you think there'll be a mouse type one included with the Switch too? Assuming that's the what they want you to do with it.
I'd say either included with this. I think either included with the Switch 2 or included with a title that strictly incorporates only
like a Mario
only
Kart
use that
Wii
mouse function
wheel
with the game. Kind of like Ring Fit. Yeah, like a Wii wheel.
Okay. Like a little I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I was just Googling games. What did I Google? Games that are better with a mouse. And
all of them.
Just clicked on the first article here. Cyberpunk 2077. Again, that's a game we've talked about coming to Switch too, right? Numerous times.
Any game with shooting.
Fallout 4. Again,
Yeah.
Fallout, another one we talked about coming to Switch. Minecraft. It's like, oh yeah, man. Just thinking about this. This is big time for sure.
My rule of thumb
No Man's Sky.
My rule of thumb, there's exceptions, of course. My rule of thumb with that is If it's first person, mouse and keyboard all the way. If it's third person, 9 times out of 10, it's a controller game. There's some exceptions like Marvel Rivals. That's still mouse and keyboard better. But for the most part, like if you're driving a car, GTA, or I don't know, things like that.
Splatoon 4 is gonna go nutty.
Yeah,
I got a good
The
one.
competitive side of that's gonna be
Like
insane.
Fortnite's third person. Fortnite's better with mouse and keyboard.
I
Fortnite's
argue controller.
but it's fine with
I
a
can't.
controller.
Yeah, I can't deal with that mouse and keyboard stuff. When it comes to Fortnite specifically, but other games, definitely. But I want to interject super quickly. I don't know if you guys saw this, but like 20 minutes ago, it looks like Switch 2 accessories are popping up on GameStop, which include SD cards that go all the way up to 512 gigabytes and Joy-Con charger grips.
Are they the Express SD cards?
Yes. The Switch 2 SD Express SD card the SKU numbers are showing up on GameStop right now.
See, when I say everything leaks, guys, it just keeps happening.
Find this. I don't even find this stuff.
I got
you. Can we get this pulled up?
Yeah, I got you.
On the big screen.
How do I send it? Wait, I'm just gonna send to Nate on Twitter.
I think I found it. Is it the image from the GameStop backend?
It's from Pori Leaks, and it's on the GameStop. I'm just gonna pull up the image right here. I got it.
Okay, because I found one that looks like it's from the back end of GameStop.
All right, that one.
That one. Let me check the DMs here if that's the same one. If it's the same one, then we're good. Yeah, it's the same one. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and I'll share it here. Like I got it ready. It is. All right, here it is.
Oh, and they just keep coming. This
is the. Let's change it up here. This is. You know what? It was better the other way. You can cut my ass off.
Yeah, I gotta throw this on the big.
Yeah, my ass don't matter. Or something got cut off. Anyways, HFK got cut off. Half of lamb.
It's okay.
It just got me.
No, wait. This is probably the way. This is the way. Cut my ass off. My ass can get cut off.
Okay.
So here you go. This is GameStop backend. This is the back end of GameStop. So this is somebody on their GameStop computer typing in Switch 2.
Yeah.
And,
like the store computer. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to do this all the time when I worked at Best Buy back 20 plus years ago.
oh, man. Dude, so things are now popping up in GameStop SKUs. We've seen accessories happen out in Amazon Japan. We have accessories that are available to pre-order out there. And now we're literally seeing Joy-Con charger grip for Switch 2.
What you know about those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thumb grips, guys?
Right?
Then also these guys.
$12.99. What a steal!
No surprise. Right? Charger grip not included in the box. That's what I'm learning here. Not really surprised. Nintendo sold this separately last time too. So,
see, this is what falls in line with like what you expect for leaks to come out shortly before a console. It's the other stuff that's just wild. Like this stuff, it's like it's not out of the ordinary to be like, oh, they're selling micro SDs for the new system, or there's a charger for the new Joy-Cons. I do love the idea though of all of these leaks being false and Nintendo just laughing their asses off at like their corporate table. Like they have no idea.
Yeah,
but it's looking less and less like that is the case, obviously.
Yep.
This is like, look, literally, we're doing a podcast and more stuff leaked. Like it's just, it doesn't. It's not. I think in general we're all like Nintendo. Come on,
like I've seen a lot of interesting posts on social media talking about how like this is beneficial for Nintendo and the conspiracy theories saying that Nintendo's the one behind spreading this kind of stuff. Where like I agree on the idea that it is beneficial to Nintendo because when you look at us, we're all hyped for it, right? There's none but positive, energy when it comes to this leaks. But to the idea that like Nintendo's the one behind this, like a lot of y'all need to understand, Nintendo corporate, they're full of old heads that despise this kind of stuff. Right. So like if any of this stuff like turns out to be legitimate, which I'm pretty sure like 75 to 9% like of the stuff we've seen is like legit, they're seething about it. Like because Nintendo loves nothing more than to be in control of what they show off. Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And it's working out to their favor, but they don't like it that way. They rather do it their own way.
Eric.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about Switch 2. So
my body is ready for Switch.
Stash, you had one thing that you were gonna.
Oh yeah,
and then I'll.
I was thinking about a game that I fully expect to come to Switch 2, by a third-party developer who we already know is going to be giving support right out of the gate. EA, The Sims. Oh, dude, The Sims is going to be perfect.
yeah.
Ooh. Oh,
And
that's-
everybody asked for that on the Switch.
Chef's kiss.
So many
Chef's
people
kiss.
asked for that. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, The Sims. Oh man, that's going to be cool. So I think that was the only other game. There's so many other ones, but The Sims, I think that could sell a lot. And they're working on the new one, right? Like they have been for years, from what I've gathered. Sims 5.
I think we're at 5 right now. Yeah.
Well, is there a 5th one out?
I'm like, sure.
no, I don't think so.
They're
I
working
think-
on the 5th one, right?
I think they're still making the. They just keep making X packs for 4.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
remember downloading Sims 4 because the lady wanted to play it, and she was like,
Yeah,
you know,
Sims
I really
4 is
wish
the latest one. Yeah.
Sims game on the Switch. And I've heard this many of times, so I'm like, oh, this is going to be big. Be able to play that with a mouse.
Mhm. You know, this really makes me wonder what like the next Animal Crossing could be like with this kind of technology.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right. Animal Crossing would actually be really great for it. Like
Yeah.
there's just so many uses for a mouse. I'm just actually like, because we remember all the stuff that we were speculating about over time, because like Sakurai wanted it, like the scroll wheel button, you know, that we talked about like last year, and the year before. Like, oh yeah, cool
That's
idea.
where I was going to go, Nate.
Oh yeah,
So-
go yeah.
So you guys are talking about Switch 2's features. I'm already on the Switch 3 feature. That's going to be the Switch 3 feature. Because guess what? What we're
That's
gonna do is
crazy.
we're gonna do a little thing like this with the cutout there that you can just lay your Joy-Con in, and right there's your scroll wheel with the
There it
wheels.
is.
That's gonna be a third party. Some
That's-
some
somebody's gonna-
yeah, some
Yeah.
third party's gonna add a wheel to it. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what I was thinking. I'm like, you could so totally like just make like a fake mouse like thing that you could just set your Joy-Con in and just be like, perfect, moving around. And then next one, they just slap
Eric,
slap wheels on it and you're good.
Yeah.
Eric, what if the scroll wheel is already there, and that's the key that's been missing from all the
I
leaks?
mean, that'd be
Everyone's
awesome.
going based off these molds. Imagine
Yeah.
the scroll wheel's already there.
Yeah,
Sakurai
the scroll
got it
wheel's
in.
there, and that's
Yeah,
and the
right.
molds all have it
Yeah.
wrong, baby.
Yeah. No,
That's
one
gonna
other
be
thing,
the
Nintendo sitting
first
back.
thing to break.
They
That's
didn't
gonna be
leak the
first
scroll
thing
wheel.
to
They
break.
didn't leak the scroll wheel.
one other thing I was thinking of
Yeah.
is how do you think that they're going to somehow find a way to include a USB like adapter so that you can use your Joy-Con as an actual mouse with the PC? Like like a
See, I
Bluetooth
was
adapter.
thinking the other way around, but
Maybe Bluetooth it.
I do. I think they'll include
You can already
Bluetooth or
Bluetooth the
something.
Joy-Con. You can already Bluetooth the Joy-Con, so you
Yeah.
just Bluetooth the other ones. You don't really
'Cause,
need
I mean,
a dongle.
Yeah, because that would make it really nice for travel. Because heck, now you don't have to travel with a mouse.
Oh
You can
yeah,
just
if you're
travel with
someone
your-
who's using a mouse casually with your laptop,
Yeah.
when you travel,
Yeah.
like
You
all the
sync
time.
up the mouse to your like.
yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
tablet, but I mean like the
Yeah.
Switch too. Like
you got the tablet right there.
it is a tablet.
yeah.
If you're out and you just bring your laptop along or something and traveling, you don't have to worry about bringing a mouse with. You can now actually just Bluetooth it to your PC, and you got a mouse now.
You know what we're not talking about? A
I-
browser.
Yeah,
How about
that
a
too.
browser, baby?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
this
bring
is
back
we got a
Opera.
web browser this time. Officially, technically,
You're
there's
right.
been a browser
Yeah.
this whole time that you can
I was
access.
a-
Oh, I forgot my
Um,
password for Facebook.
not it's a slight change in topic, but I just keep seeing this video from Pori.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just watched their entire account.
Yeah, it's in the next topic because it's from Genki.
Okay.
Oh.
Genki's doing their thing.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't realize it was like okay. See it.
Yeah, we're good. It'll be there. Eric, by the way,
No.
Karkun is excited you're back. I'm just letting you know.
Heck
Just
yeah,
letting
thank you.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Eric hasn't been on in a bit, so
Couple
hot
weeks.
minute. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think we can move on to that.
Yeah.
To the Genki
Yeah,
topic.
it's a
Why not?
Good transition.
Well, there you go.
Let's-
Yeah.
let's Thunder Stash.
All right, let's jump in here. So yeah, Genki guys. Again, I've been buying products from Genki for a while. I bought a handful of them. I use their Shadowcast Pro 2. And again, one thing I mentioned last week, and I'll say it again to you guys so you know, When I had bought the Shadowcast 2 Pro, it was on Kickstarter, and I had funded it like very early on, and I'd got a message from them that it was going to be like slightly delayed, and they were apologizing, but they were saying it was going to be slightly delayed because they want to make sure that they make it a little bit better so it's ready for the way they described it was the new console, basically the Switch 2 that's coming out.
Yeah.
So to me, they're no stranger to openly kind of speaking about this kind of stuff and not caring, which I love. I think that's great. And yeah, as we all know, they're not an officially licensed by Nintendo third party accessory, maker, but their quality is top notch. I mean, have you guys all worked or bought any products from 8BitDo over the years?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
You
My
can
streaming
see here,
controller.
Genki just teamed up. You can see their name. This is the official Genki 8BitDo controller that I got just a little bit ago. It's the Super Nintendo 30th Anniversary Pro, Pocket Pro Edition. So again, yeah, they have a lot of good quality stuff, and just teaming up with 8BitDo, I think, says a lot about them too, because as far as I'm concerned, they make the best retro controllers.
Yeah.
Because
They're well-
Nintendo is not, they're not making a brand new Super Nintendo or brand new 64 controllers anymore. That kind of stuff doesn't happen. So when you got to go to the third party, they're so damn good. So I'm impressed by them. With that said, again, CES, we talked about this, 2 weeks ago, Nate? Was it, Eric, 2 weeks ago? We were talking about how excited we were about CES and that we're hoping that some accessory makers will leak some stuff. And sure enough, Genki, answered the call there. So if you guys have been on Twitter, again, they leaked pretty much everything they know about Switch 2, and they're very, very open about it. Tons of accessories. What do they have? They have like a little catalog book.
Yeah.
So you can literally, thumb through what products they're going to have. If I recall, they have, what was it, 8 to 10 accessories in development for Switch 2 that are going to be ready to go on launch day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot. And it's like, and because of what they're doing, a lot of other people are doing stuff too. Like, my MC had just reached out to me about another accessory maker, the JSAUX. I don't know how to pronounce it. The JSOX or whatever brand. They make accessories as well. They want to sponsor videos with like 12 different Switch 2 accessories. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Now I have an email from Genki as well. And I'm like, oh my God.
What's happening?
What is happening? This thing's not announced. What are we doing? Why are we talking about sponsorship for Switch 2 already? This makes no sense. Genki just doesn't give a shit. Here, I'll pull up some of the catalog stuff that I posted because there's so much.
That's wild.
Yeah, so this is from the Gaming Leaks and Rumors. Will you pull that up? I'll go ahead and read this out for you guys. But basically, the Genki representative stated that the new console looks like it can physically fit in an old Nintendo Switch dock, but certain indentations prevent it from actually being usable in the dock itself. Additionally, while current Joy-Cons won't physically attach to the sides of the new Switch, the Genki spokesperson said the company is assuming they will still work as wireless controllers, stating that other accessory manufacturers are banking on that capability. And I think that goes hand in hand with that Nintendo Switch charging station that Nintendo conveniently started selling in October, right, of last year. Unfortunately, the rep said they didn't have any information on what the new C button is, so that's still a mystery, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Because we so much has came out already. I'm glad there's still a few unknowns, but they don't know what the C button's for. It's on their mock-up. They said there had been some rumors among accessory manufacturers about it being camera related, which is interesting because, that's all something we've speculated, but it's like, is it camera? Is it communication? Is it chat? What is it? What makes the most sense? And so a camera would be interesting, but they could not verify the actual function, and they didn't know if the Switch 2 possessed a camera at all. So outside of that, though, there's definitely more to what Genki said. And let me see here. I think probably the most interesting thing they said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, is that it's coming out in April. They know it's coming out in April. That's why
April's crazy.
all of their accessories
time.
are slotted and ready to roll to be there day and date for release in April. And we keep hearing that. And who was it? Again, the leaker on Reddit, the handheld leaker. Did he say March or April for the release date?
I said April or
Which
May.
one? Yeah, you talking about next handheld?
Next handheld, yeah.
He said April.
There you go, man.
April.
The signs keep
Yeah.
pointing towards April. And again, I'm never going to let it go. Just like I'm never going to let Switch Pro go, and neither should you. But and I'm never going to let Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD go. I know it's
Launch titles, they're coming. They're coming. Launch titles. All right.
But-
Those would be pretty cool launch titles, especially if it
Oh,
has
God.
the dual screen capability that is
It'd
rumored.
be so amazing.
Are you gonna let us go, Thunder?
Yeah, I will say that I definitely think that that's going to be on me. Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
Gamebird, go, bud.
Oh boy.
You call out. Hey,
I know you cut him off, and then you're
Whoa,
acting surprised when you got-
there's a lot to step into the play, boys. Like,
I was
Oh, you're
just
gonna
asking
shut
if
the
you were gonna
fuck
let
up?
me
Oh,
go.
wait,
or
hang
if you were
on.
gonna let Glenn go.
I'm just kidding.
I want you to finish your thought because you were still going, and then I'll jump in. I got a lot to say. It's not like I don't have anything to say. I certainly do. I got more to say than you do.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
wow. Oh, wow. A yap off we have here.
As far as what was it, the black market? Because that was Genki, right?
yeah, that was Genki again. Saying you can buy it on the black market right now, real units.
And Genki is in. They were speaking in French. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, they were speaking in French to a French reporter.
So I'm curious about this. What do you guys think about this black market deal? Is anyone interested in doing this or what?
Well,
No,
I ain't
no.
gonna touch it.
Nate, I know you gave your disclaimer.
Oh yeah. I put a disclaimer on Twitter because I said I think it's dangerous what they said because one, even if it's true, let's say it's true that some units got off the factory, right? It could happen. The factories are in China, stuff could happen. It's not like an impossibility. We have seen iPhones end up on the black market before they were revealed, so it's not technically impossible for it to be there. But the reason why, the thing is, it's not talked about publicly. Because when you tell the general public, hey, you could buy this right now if you have the money on the black market, you're going to get a bunch of people that have never messed around in the black market trying to and risking their security. That's my issue with it. Like, even if it's really there, you really shouldn't say that. You could say, hey, we got our hands on one. I don't really want to tell you how we did it.
Yeah.
But when you put that out there, I do worry about people that might have been like, man, I'm obsessed with Switch 2. I'm tired of waiting for Nintendo. I can go buy one right now. And the thing is, if they are on the black market, they're probably not in retail box. I'm assuming once they hit the retail box, there's no way someone snuck out retail boxes. So it's not going to have the current it's not going to have the operating system on it, right?
Mhm.
It's going to have maybe testing software to like test the Joy-Cons or test function, but that's all that's going to be there. It's not going to be actually usable.
It
Say no
sounds like
games.
that one scene from Jingle All the Way when he tries to buy a bootleg Turbo Man and just falls
Yeah.
off.
Turbo Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a little bit wary over the black market thing, and like again, like them saying that they don't really know the function of the C button. but they also have their hands on a Switch, even if it's more of that, like that dev kit version, I suppose.
I want to go dev kit. I just think if they have one, let's presume they're not lying, right? I don't know, Genki.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not lying. Maybe they legitimately bought one out the black market and it is real. The reason would just be you don't have the OS, so like half the shit's not going to work.
It sounds like the button's not tied to game development. So to me, it's got to be a social feature.
Social, casting. I know that's.
I think it's going to be for capture.
Capture.
Yeah.
Some people have thought that, and then they changed the capture button to something else.
Yeah.
Some people thought there might be a camera accessory you could buy separate and maybe controls that. Some people think, hey, now that we know there's mouse functionality, does it turn on and off the cursor on your screen? Because hey, some people, when you use a mouse, maybe you're using a mouse where you're using it more like a motion thing, but then maybe you want the cursor.
see.
I do want to say one final thought that like leaks over into the next topic because I actually have to be out.
Yeah.
As is tradition, someone in my chat was bringing up the idea that the C button when the when the Switch 2 is docked acts as a toggle for the upscaling between that fidelity and what was the other one? The performance mode, fidelity and performance mode, in which you can use that button to toggle what's like on the screen. And I'm like, that seems kind of weird, but like, oh, it's kind of like the 3DS slider. And I'm like, but I mean, like, I don't know if that is something that would be applicable for like games across the board off the system itself rather than a specific menu within a specific game. But then we got into a whole conversation about like how Nintendo could be utilizing DLSS for that. But I just wanted to bring that thought in before I got to be out. I wish I could stay, but I'm at my timer as always. But thank you so much for having me, guys. I will see you guys next time. All right.
Have a good one.
I'm out of here.
Take it easy, man.
So, based on what he said, I just want to say that I think that's an interesting thought, interesting idea. I think if we look at like what PlayStation does, if I'm playing a game, for instance, Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? If I'm playing it in performance mode and I want to switch it to fidelity mode, I got to go into the menu. I got to do a hard save. The screen will like go dark for a second and it'll like transition over. So I'm not sure that it would be able to be put onto a button. And then, what if you just accidentally hit the button?
Right.
That would be a headache for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
There's also people who have speculated, and actually, like, this would be a dream for me. I'd get my hype level would skyrocket for this. I just don't think it's going to be the case, sadly. Is that C button, people have speculated, stands for cast, and it creates a Wii U type functionality where it casts to the TV so you could play and have the dual screen, which would be amazing because like a year and a half ago, I had Andres Restart on my channel. I was telling him it's going to have dual screen, like some way, somehow it's going to have dual screen. That way we could get those DS and 3DS titles. And if we get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, if we got them now, they'd always be better on the Wii U with the dual screen functionality because you can manage your map and your inventory and saves. So while I think it's highly unlikely at this stage, especially with all the leaks, I mean, if that was like a huge surprise that came from the reveal, I'd lose it. Like I would just be like, I'd have to bring a change of pants because there would be a lot of shit.
I wonder about the cast because, like, look, I would really like it. I think it would be a cool feature. The first thing I think of that I guess draws some concern is, are they able to do it with no input lag? Because if it introduces any sort of lag, it's game over at that point. Now, the Wii U, like that whole concept didn't introduce input lag. Did you guys experience any playing Wii U?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
It was like in
way. The PlayStation Portal also works this way. And so do like when you the Xbox and PlayStation app when you stream to your phone and stuff. That's the same thing.
But I don't think I don't think they need to do what the PlayStation Portal does, is where the game is on both. If they limit the functionality of the screen where it worked best, in my opinion, outside of a few creative titles that came to the Wii U, and that was map management, your inventory. Like think about a game like Echoes of Wisdom or even Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and just cycling through all those items to find the thing that you want to fuse. It's super cumbersome. So just having that there, that's not going to affect you in combat. If there's like a slight, and you could turn it off, you could just play with just the TV. But if there's like a millisecond of lag between hitting save or scrolling on your map with your finger, or switching to iron boots or whatever in a Zelda title, that's an amazing feature. I mean, the Wii U, in my opinion, I think its biggest crime was that it was ahead of its time, and I'd love to see them do that with Switch 2 or whatever's next. But
Yeah, it was able to introduce a lot of quality of life improvements, for sure.
yeah.
So has everyone seen? Are we going to show the video, the little video that Genki's put out?
Yeah, sure. I sent it in the private chat.
Yeah. We could show it. 1 second here.
I have a couple questions about this.
A lot of people put this up as, oh, it's revealed. Just hold on.
Yeah, I know.
So let me ask you guys this: are you interested in any of Genki's products and picking anything up that they've shown?
Not of the Switch. I'm not somebody who puts like a case on my Switch, so I think the ergonomics looks really good for these Joy-Cons. I mean, especially since the Joy-Cons look pretty much the same but a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
like surface area wise.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I could pick that up. The chargers looks cool, but again, I always play in desk mode, so like I've never, even with the regular Switch, I've never had like the Joy-Cons die and not, like I always dock them, and I've never had a problem with
same.
like charging
I never
them.
have that problem.
Yeah, I can imagine if you have like a family and you have multiple, you only have one Switch, but you need to get 2 sets of Joy-Cons or 3 sets of Joy-Cons for the kiddos, then I could see needing that. But yeah, the thing I'm most curious about in this video is here on the Switch, it'll get there eventually. On the back, there's a ring. Is there going to be wireless?
So
like,
that's
charging, like a MagSafe type thing.
Case. That's the Genki case.
That's just the case. Well, why is is that just like a branding thing or
no? So I know what that is. All right, they make a very similar case for Steam Deck and a couple other handhelds. They use that for their accessories, such as, and this is a big deal because Nintendo deleted it after this went public today. The ability, they have a connection point there that you can connect a portable M.2 drive for expandable storage that works with Steam Deck. Now, Switch does not support.
Wow.
Nintendo Switch doesn't support external
cool.
hard drives, right? Nintendo Switch doesn't support external hard drives. You have to use that micro SD card. However, the Nintendo support site, Nintendo messed up. They in their Q&A section, they have a question. Hey, does it support external hard drives? Nintendo Switch does not currently support the hard drives. But then they had a little star asterisk thing that said, this is a feature we are working on for specific models of Nintendo Switch, will not be compatible with all Switch units. And that was there until it got pointed out today, and Nintendo went in and deleted it. It's no longer on the Q&A, but it was.
Honestly, that's exciting.
So it's kind of like someone at Nintendo accidentally leaked that Switch 2 is going to have external hard drive support, which then could make something like this from Genki make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So
it would also make sense external. Yeah, because I mean these games are going to start getting bigger and bigger, and assuming that it is as powerful as a PS4. I mean the PS4, you already needed a minimum terabyte hard drive to have enough games on it, assuming you didn't have disc games, right?
Yeah.
And with the Switch, I mean I would say half my library, if not all, or not, if not 80% of my library is digital at this point. I love physical, and I do still collect physical, as you can see behind me, but. Storage is going to be big major factor for this one. Also, when we watch this, it looks like there's USB-C at the top instead of the bottom. So there's a way to charge it through the top and the bottom, which
I think they're doing too.
Yeah,
right?
that's one at the top and the bottom.
awesome because I hate that the Switch charging port is at the bottom. I was literally playing Balatro and charging my Switch like a few hours ago, and I hated it. I mean, I've never had it like be super obstructive, but I could never like set it up, plug it in. You know, like it was like, okay, I either have to charge it or I have to set it on the thing. So that's really good for dock or for tabletop play and
great for tabletop. Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I feel like I've learned from this video is assuming that this is 100% correct. And hey, they're claiming they have an actual, they literally said all their accessories are built off the real model. Like they have the actual system that they're not using 3D scans or 3D models.
Yeah.
They literally have the system. And to be fair, they're like the only accessory maker that came with accessories in person you could hold.
Mm-hmm.
So they made them. So it's the other ones just did like renders. So it's entirely possible that hey, maybe they're not lying about having a real unit. I don't know. But the big thing is those extra buttons on the back that we kind of knew all this whole time were release buttons. Looks like a mechanical release where if you watch here, it pushes in and then a pin pops out to help you disconnect it. Now, I think there's a little bit of an issue with because the way they show this, they're like, oh, the button stays pressed in and the pin's just out. I think if you let go of the button, the pin depresses back in, of course. So then you have that smoother mouse experience. So I kind of feel like that's a little mistake they made in their animation that I'm pretty sure the button doesn't stay pressed in until you put it back on. But it's a little detail there that we didn't know before.
I do want to add because the last time I was on the just right after Christmas Prime, I was telling you that I'm super excited for Switch 2, but that I've been a little bit disappointed in the leaks just because I found it a little bit boring and samey, and I kind of missed that Nintendo flair and creativity, and I'm hoping for more surprises like that. And I'm starting to feel that now with the stuff like obviously the optical sensor is a big
huge.
one.
There's no way Nintendo wants
even
that
seeing like them, even seeing them throw if the leaks are true, color under the analog stick to give it some pop and stuff. That's like the kind of stuff that I like when I was thinking like just like a black version and a white version. I'm like, that's so boring.
That's Switch.
Like, we already have the dark gray and the white. That's Switch OLED. It's the same color combo that Sony and Microsoft use.
Yeah,
it just gives it a little more pop. And I hope the white model, if the white model is real, has some sort of a fun color scheme well. And
I would say if we see in like the blue and orange here, it seems to be the theme of what maybe the main unit's going to be at launch. I like that it's like subtle. But it's different. You instantly look at this and no, those aren't Switch Joy-Con. Look at it. You can just tell by just glancing. Oh yeah, that's not Switch Joy-Con. That's something different. That's what Nintendo did. Like because remember when we were getting the initial model, it just looks like a Switch. Now it looks a little different, and that's good. Yeah. And so this two-tone thing, I think, is something they're going to keep as a general theme throughout. I mean, you'll have some kind of like the Tears of the Kingdom edition where like it's completely custom and it's all different, but just for like colored Joy-Con or Joy-Con 2's or whatever they call it, it definitely looks like they're going to go with a two-tone thing, and I like that. I think that's very nice.
They could do some really cool combos. I'd love to see them do some retro skins. I know like third parties have done those where you can get like some like, and Nintendo's done it too with some of their handhelds where they do like a SNES or a Super Famicom or an NES kind of variant of their handhelds. I'd love to see that. I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunity with the original Switch with some of the cool color combinations or themes that they could have done. So I hope we see that with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Genki is just, they're wilding out, man.
They're letting it fly.
That stuff we read on Reddit, that was something they told IGN. Like, they don't care. They're telling everyone everything.
Do you think that's like going to have legal repercussions on them at all? Or I don't know. Nintendo's usually pretty not happy about that stuff.
Are they a Chinese-based company? Is that why they're doing it? Because it's really hard to go after Chinese companies. I'm just asking because I know you bought a lot of their stuff. Are they Chinese-based?
And then they're saying it was French.
Well, no, the guy, they have companies that work worldwide. So do Chinese companies. But you can't really, it's hard to sue the Chinese companies, is what I'm saying, if they're based in China.
very hard.
Are they based in China? Do you know?
Because Genki feels like it might be based in China. I don't actually know where they're based. Because they have the balls to come to the US at CES and just openly state this. By the way, at an event, NVIDIA is on the show floor and doing presentations for and as a partner on the system. Like half the company that made this happen is at CES.
Yeah, I am curious. I don't know. I'm way out of the loop with a lot of the legal stuff, but I remember Sony when that one third-party company was selling the colored plates for the PS5s, and Sony put an end to that pretty quick. Now, I don't know what the legal reasons that gave them the ability to do that, or if that would apply, where Nintendo could be like, "You're not making accessories for our system."
Yeah, and then here I'm showing this was in the Q&A earlier today. It has since been deleted. There's that star with the support is planned for the future, but model compatibility and release dates have yet to be decided. This information will be shared on the Nintendo homepage as soon as the details are fixed. It's like this, by the way, wasn't there a year ago. This was added recently. Someone sniped it, and then Nintendo went and deleted it. And before people are like, "Oh, how do you know?" Because I saw this as soon as it hit on Reddit, and there's a link. I clicked on the link, and it was there. I clicked on the link and it was there, and now it's not. Oops. And now it's not. I'm opening it right now. Actually, wait. It got added back in. They added it back in. Oh man, did they maybe? Maybe this is. It could just be a cache on my end. It might be cached on my end. To be fair, I'm not going to cache right now.
On the Genki website, they have MagSafe rings, and it says it's compatible. It has the little Switch logo.
Yep. Yeah. Genki just doesn't give enough. It is.
Wow. That's incredible.
They're basically saying, "Hey, we're not your partner. What are you going to do? Yeah. What are you going to do?"
I mean, I guess
we didn't bring our. Now, if they had the Switch 2 model with them, like the actual system they claim they have, if they had it with them at the event, then I think Nintendo can do something about it.
Yeah.
It's an illegal unit. It's an illegal unit. They're not supposed to have their hands on it. Nintendo could confiscate. But they're smart, of course. If they have one, they didn't bring it with. Yeah. They're not dumb. That's why they brought with a 3D printed model. Because like we're not gonna risk it in the one that we need to make accessories taken away.
They're smart. They're a good company. I follow them. I've followed them for a couple of years, and they're cool people. They're gamers, man. They're just like us. They really are. They're really cool people. They just they don't give a F, which is great. I love that.
They announced like 2 weeks ago that they were going to do this Switch 2 thing, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're just going to show their access. They're just going to like, hey, it's a 3D model. It's going to be the same thing we heard from D Brand and others." Nope, nope, not the same thing. And they announced it ahead of time, and Nintendo still couldn't stop it. There are a lot of theories out there that Nintendo just one doesn't care, or two knows they can't stop it. Or three, they're telling these companies to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in my chat too. I'm like, guys, this is free. This is free marketing. It's a free hype machine. No one is learning anything that they shouldn't be, right? Like we're not seeing games. We're not seeing the OS.
Yeah, but those are the big things. Yep.
Yeah, we're talking about every day. Every day there's something new. Every day I'm on Twitter looking to see what's new. We all are. And there is a new leak every day. So this is it's the best kind of marketing you can get. It's just word of mouth hype. This is excellent upon Nintendo. I'm hyped
Everyone's
about this myself.
Talking about it.
Everybody. It's always trending on Twitter.
Everything. Like, there's a Xbox Direct supposed to happen this month. No one's talking about it.
No.
No one's talking about it. They're just talking about the Switch 2 stuff. And the thing is, Nintendo is going to be, from what I've been told, revealing it this month. So with them revealing it, they're just going to steal the headlines again. By the time the rumors and things calm down, then they just reveal it. And then that's all we're going to talk about for the next few months.
What are we betting? Next week after? I'm betting like end of January.
I am pleading the 5th.
Oh, okay. He knows.
I'm not convinced.
He knows somebody.
I'm not 100% sold on January, but I think by mid-February, the latest. So I think it's either going to be the first half of February or the last half of January.
Remember, the investor meeting's on the 4th. So I know a lot of people are like, hey, they got to do it by then. Because then they can set up the investor. Because there's a lot of people that feel like, looking at the numbers, that Nintendo's probably missing their projections again on their sales data for the second straight fiscal quarter, which isn't that big of a deal because we know that the Switch 2 is coming. So if they announce the Switch 2 and the hype's really high, the investors aren't going to care because they're like, oh, yeah, we have this new device coming. Everyone's hyped for it. We're going to hold. We're not going to sell our stock. So a lot of people think, I don't know that Nintendo cares because Nintendo's on top of the world. Like, they don't have to please the investors right now. They're on top. What are the investors going to do? Tell Nintendo to F off and sell to Tencent? Like, what are they going to do? Like, Nintendo's in a power position. They are the industry leader. They don't care. Yeah. Like, these leaks,
and
I'm sure they don't want, in particular, I'm sure Nintendo did not want the mouse leak out. They probably wanted to save the gimmick for reveal. But also, as some people point out, hey, leaks were beginning. Last week we got the damn motherboard. Right? So, like, we've been getting leaks for a while, dating back at least a month where the leaks started to feel pretty legit. And there's been rumors even longer. I mean, Nintendo could have got ahead of all of this. The moment news started breaking, it was going in mass manufacturing. Nintendo could have got ahead of everything. Mm-hmm. They chose not to because Nintendo has a marketing plan. And no matter what leaks, they are not going to deviate from it. And it was Krista from Kit and Krista, because she used to be head of the NOA marketing team. She pointed out that, like, hey, Nintendo's dealt with leaks in the past. Not like that. This is obviously pretty extreme, but she's like, Nintendo has never once changed their marketing plans because of leaks. Like, they don't care. They're gonna stick to their guns. They have a plan. It's not budging because leaks are happening. So if their plan was always this month or later this month or whatever, if their plan was February, if their plan was March, doesn't matter. Nintendo's not moving it. They could have a first-party game leak out there. Somehow footage gets out, which would be like the worst thing because that's from internal Nintendo. Yeah. Someone's getting fired. Someone's getting fired if that happens. Factory leaks are one thing. They got to do a lot of investigating to figure that out. But an internal leak, that's, Nintendo, someone's getting fired for that. But here's the thing. She's just like, hey, Nintendo doesn't care. They're going to do it on their schedule because that's the way they are. And I sit back because one thing I've seen is a lot of people frustrated that Nintendo just doesn't reveal it. For all these leaks, why don't you just put it out there? And it's like, because I'm going to tell you right now, my sister doesn't know about these leaks. She owns a Switch. My mom doesn't know. Most of the general public doesn't know. I'm literally a Nintendo guy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, but the general public doesn't know. So a majority of Switch owners don't even know the Switch 2 is coming.
Yeah.
So Nintendo's not going to change their plan with a reveal trailer that's going to get 50 million views because, there's a few 100,000 views on Twitter and they just don't care. Because the people that know, all of us,
like half of Twitter's bought it anyways.
Hardcore in the chat, the 585, the 600 plus that have been watching. We're the hardcore. We were probably going to be trying to get this system day one anyways, regardless of the leaks. Mm-hmm. They're not worried about us. They're worried
we're
about
gonna buy it no matter what. Yeah. We're probably gonna buy 2 or 3 throughout the whole thing.
We're the audience. We're the audience that probably showed up for Wii U. Mm-hmm. They care about that broader audience and how when they drop this reveal trailer, this is what's actually going to show to the broader audience. Mm. So they care about that. So all these leaks and all this stuff, it's being covered by big sites. That's cool. It's not on the front page of CNN. So let me tell you, most people don't know about it. Only the people that follow gaming news do.
I apologize. I got to run to the restroom really quick.
Oh, no, you're not allowed to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You bastard.
I'm going.
Hi, man.
I'm about to burst.
Drink some breathing
I've
material.
been holding it since we went live.
I
will.
Scroll Twitter for us. See if there's any new news.
I know. I'm like updating. I'm like updating constantly. I'm like refreshing.
I didn't want to bring up just to everyone again, just as a reminder. I brought this up last week, but again, Genki has the Save Point product.
Yes.
And I don't work for Genki. I'm not affiliated with them, but I do stand by their products. And I feel like
Bro wants to be. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, they're mini SSD enclosure that they sell.
Yeah.
I would put money down on it that's going to be compatible with Switch 2. And that might be the way to go because it says they're back ordered right now. Again, I didn't pick this up. This was part of the last Kickstarter. I picked up 2 of the items out of the 3. And this was the 3rd one. I didn't pick it up because, it was advertised for a Steam Deck. And I'm like, yeah, this is great for a Steam Deck, but I don't have one and I'm not buying one. I'm waiting for Switch 2. So seeing as that we have 2 USB-C ports, there's a reason for that. There's a logical reason for that.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to plug this baby in.
It's not just to charge in tabletop. There's something accessory or something. And people have pointed this out. Hey, with that note on there about external hard drives, you might need faster than those USB-A ports on the side. Maybe that's what the C port is really for, so you can have those fast, those M.2 style, expansion. That
you even dedicate a button.
Why we didn't even talk about that in the past? How do we not talk about external storage as a possibility for that top C port when you're in DOP mode? Makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That does make sense.
SSD right through the USB-C. That's what I do literally on my computer. That's what I do on my laptop. Why the hell did I even think of why am I only thinking about it now that someone pointed out that it's on Nintendo's official website that they're going to have it? They're going to have external storage support. They literally, guys, it's Nintendo saying it.
I think that's a big reason why Genki just put this out. Like, that's what I was kind of mentioning last week. I think that's a big reason why they're putting this product. It just came out and it's already back ordered. But they can't advertise, right? That it's for Switch. I mean, they could. They cross the line whenever they want, but I think it was pretty clear that this was why they were releasing it. I think this is why, again, they actually delayed one of their products so it would be compatible with Switch 2. So they know what they're doing. I think they've been privy to information for a long time because when they emailed me, it was over a year ago. It was last November is when they delayed it, and I ended up getting it like in December. But again, it was to make sure it was compatible with the new console that's going to be be coming out. So it's pretty obvious. Let me ask you guys something real quick. The colored joysticks. 2 questions. 1, do you like it? 2, do you think that there's going to be a light on these? And I only mention it because I got my pocket right here, my Retroid, and like you can see,
Ooh.
the joysticks are colored, and I have a app that does like the Philips Hue lights on it. So the color on the edges of the screen actually come out onto the joysticks. And I'm like, dude, this would be so sick. And when I see the colored stuff with Nintendo, I'm just like, it seems like they're probably not going to be lit based on the concept. Like they're good, like whatever color I guess the Joy-Con is that's what it's going to be. But it's pretty cool that it's going to be like blue and orange. What do you guys think of that color scheme if you were to compare it to say the Switch 1 with the blue and red?
I mean, I'm a fan, especially
Go
with
ahead,
especially
Flynn.
with the lights. Yeah, sorry. I didn't. Yeah,
Denver
sorry. No, yes. No, I think it looks absolutely cool. I think I hope there's a feature to turn that off or something, because it's not saying it's like bad or anything, but I don't know. I can imagine being on a plane and it's dark and my whole thing is But I think it'll be good. And what am I trying to say? I'm trying to forget. I had a thought and it's gone, but I think it's a cool feature. I think that color scheme would be cool, and it would be really cool to see it change, or even have some custom, it's RGB. They're adding RGB to Switch. I mean, that'd be crazy. Like, that'd be cool to have, like, be able to change the color on it in some sort of setting wheel. I don't know if they'll go that crazy with it. Maybe they'll keep it color coordinated to each controller, but I don't know. That's just me. Sorry. Go ahead, Game Bird. I cut you off.
No, you're good. At first, when I heard that the alleged color scheme was going to be blue and orange. I was like, blue and orange. I'm like, what does that represent? As far as like Nintendo goes. So I wasn't sold on it, but then when I saw it and I kind of saw the subtlety in the colors and it looks kind of nice with the dark gray or the matte black, whatever that. So I'm sold on it now. I do love the idea of some glowing lights. I mentioned this last time I was on the podcast just a couple weeks ago. I want it from the dock though. I want them to kind of throw back to the Wii era where the Wii disc drive would do that blue glow. I want the dock to like glow around the edge when your
I like the glow.
Switch is docked in it. Like that to me is so cool. I think on the analog is neat, but the dock, when you put it in and it does the sound effect and then it has like a nice dim, just like this nice glow would be so rad.
Yeah. So you guys can see here. So I have the screen pulled up, but like I can change the colors, and I know it's hard to see, but
so sick.
Maybe that gives it kind of a. There you go. Okay, look. I hate controlling like this. Okay, there's like blue. There's green, but you have the whole color wheel here, and then there's a custom, of course, color wheel, and I can do whatever colors I want there. But this is really cool, and I did test out. I'm going to be reviewing this, of course, on the channel, but I did test out, playing this in bed with the light joystick, because it's cool. It's cool, and especially because it's a new product for me, and sometimes I need to look down and be like, which button is this again? Because I'm playing a variety of different games that have like different button control profiles, as you would imagine, because it's a device where you can play a lot of different games, right? And so it's all different. And it's like, okay, which button do I press again? So it's actually pretty helpful, I will say. So that would be cool if Nintendo did it. Do I think they're gonna? Probably not. Give it like a 20, 25, 30% chance maybe, but it looks like it's a standalone color. And if you think about it, that gives people more incentive to buy more Joy-Cons, because they will undoubtedly release more colors that have a different joystick color, right?
Oh, dude, it's gonna be sick. Did the black and red? Can't wait.
Hell yeah,
That's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna
awesome.
Yeah, there's so much. Genki, why you be wilding out, Genki?
Yeah, they're going hard in the paint. I like it, man. I appreciate it. I respect the game.
Yeah, IGN just hang on, let me see when the article was made. Continue talking, sorry.
Well, to add to what you were saying, I'm not gonna say anything about IGN, but I did notice like VGC has reposted the bit about Genki talking about April. Like a lot of sources that don't always or maybe even say sparingly will retweet or cover a rumor. They're all covering it. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, like that. So IGN was covering the Genki thing and says that there's a Switch 2 mock-up, and the company is insistent that it is based on the real thing. Well,
I will say this: I believe them. I'll just put that out there. I believe them. I don't think they mess around. I really do think they have their shit together. Their products are of high quality, and I feel like they've known stuff for a long time, considering, I received contact from them a year ago about that delayed product to make it ready for essentially Switch 2. So I think they definitely have a lot of connections, let's say, in the industry, and I'm buying what they're selling. And here's the thing, man, you don't make catalogs. You don't make those, beautiful catalogs like that, and you don't put out that nice little tech demo video that they did. Hey, you don't manufacture products and start getting people on mailing list with the actual, final sketches unless 100%. Otherwise, you are going to lose a lot of money if you go making cases and controllers that aren't to spec. They know what they're doing. and they wanted to be first. They wanted to be the first ones out there, just like D brand wanted to be the first ones out there. Because you know why? They know that if they can catch lightning in a bottle as far as sales is concerned and make their name known, I mean, it could set them up for many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Because if they can become the go-to, that's the thing. Like,
Exactly.
why? As I brought up earlier, that JSAUX company. Again, I don't know how to pronounce their name. They want to work with me. They're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce their damn company name. But like, they want to work with me. Genki wants to work with D brand is talking about work. You know why all these companies are talking about working with like a YouTube channel? It's because they all want to become the go-to accessory maker. It's kind of like Satisfy kind of became like the go-to for grips for so long. Worked with beat 'em ups. Worked with big YouTubers to become like the go-to. Think about like even wireless earbuds. Like, yeah, we all know about the AirPods and all that kind of stuff because of Apple. But if you're a gamer, what's one you've probably heard about? Raycons, anyone?
Oh yeah, everyone's pushing those
Why?
out.
Because they became the go-to with all these content creators.
Yep.
And so now I'm getting emails. I'm getting even my MCNs being contacted directly from all these companies making Switch 2 accessories because they all want to. Hey, this guy makes a lot of Switch 2 content. We want to get in his content. We want to be the go-to place. He keeps talking about all these accessory leaks. We want to be the one that he focuses on. By the way, I'm only taking ads. All you guys out there, I'm only doing ads. I ain't doing features, full featured videos on one company. Because you know why? When I do make a featured video on Switch 2 accessories, I'm comparing them all. I can't be sponsored for that. No, I can't give a fair comparison if people are paying me for that video. So I won't be taking a sponsor on that video, at least not an accessory one. If like HelloFresh wants to sponsor me, that's fine. You're unrelated.
Fair enough.
That's that. But anyways, the point is like I'm getting all these contacts today because they all want to be there. And by the way, they're trying to entice me by every single one telling me, "Hey, let Prime know it's coming out in April." Is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
You tell me.
You tell me. I have no idea if it's coming out in April. You say everyone's saying April, and I'm just like, but these aren't official partners. Do they actually know? Well, we've heard from manufacturing. Okay, well, that's what Next Handheld said as well. But then we have like Nate the Hate Me. I'm like, but they're doing a Switch 2 event in May. Okay, but what if that Switch 2 event's a Switch 2 Direct? And it's after this.
I mean, they can still. That's what I looked at too. Like I know Nate said that, but I've always felt like it was going to be coming out March at the earliest. But I felt like March was realistic, and I've said that a lot on this show. I think between March and May. And the point I was going to make earlier that I just remembered. Again, I will always say this. I think this was internally delayed. I don't care what Nintendo says. I don't care what any news outlet says. I don't care about what anyone says who's covering for them. And the thing is, they can't let stuff like that slip out.
What you don't like?
They got shareholders.
It was a journalist at RPG site that was like, this thing was never delayed. It was always this year.
I read that and I was like,
so
I don't buy that. I don't buy that bullshit. I don't buy it at all. I know, I can't say, but I know that this was internally delayed. And
I love you. Like, you can't say, just like people are like, hey, when's it going to be revealed? What week? I plead the 5th. And everyone's like, who knows? I'm like, yeah, I know. And I can't say it. So shut up. Leave me alone about it.
Yes. That's why I know, like when I heard April, I'm like, excellent. So we're on, because this is what I'm under the impression of is April. I've been under the impression, I've been told that this is coming out before my birthday, which my birthday is May 7th. Yeah, that it's coming. It's coming out before my 40th. It's my 40th, man. So
big 4-0.
I get to celebrate my 40th with Nintendo because it's Nintendo's 40th.
Eric taught me how to pronounce that company that wants to sponsor me. It's J Socks, not J Saw. They put up their own meme about it on Twitter on their official account because people kept pronouncing their company name wrong.
And of course, it's the Harry
Got
Potter one with Hermione correcting Ron on how to say Leviosa.
Yeah. Leviosa.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that's freaking great.
Hey, are we gonna mention what's going on with Pokemon Legends?
Sure, why not? Why don't we squeeze that in here while we got Favlam still here?
Yeah.
Did you see what was going on for Vlam?
Yeah, isn't it like a mock case on, was it GameStop or some website was leaked, or
Yeah,
what was it?
So Amazon. It was Amazon. Let me pull it up. I put it in my bookmarks, but
Yeah, feel free to share it, screen share it. I'll put it up.
let me get it here.
Mhm.
So here it is. Oh, Pori posted it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also,
So-
wasn't it $49.99 too? That was another crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
Or did I miss?
Yeah, it was, and that was interesting. And
Mm.
I'm not
Could
buying
that just be like a
I'm not-
placeholder?
It could be. I'm not buying obviously the price, but the date I could get behind because the date feels right.
What was the date?
does-
That part I didn't see.
August 15th.
I could see that, especially if Switch 2 is already out. Yeah, I can see that.
So it was
And they've
listed.
been sitting on ZA since February of last year, at least announcement wise. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could totally see it. And from what I've gathered, yeah, he said it in the comments that they updated it
Mhm.
shortly after he posted it to December 31st. So obviously we all know that will always forever be the lifetime TBA
Placeholder.
date, placeholder
Yeah.
date is December 31st. So the fact that they had it as the 15th for a moment and then it went to it feels like someone effed up.
Someone effed up, yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
great. Which is
Yeah.
great for us.
And ZA
Yeah.
in August. I mean, that makes sense. A late
Yeah.
summer release. That works. I think that works.
When do you think we will get
It's a midsummer, actually. Midsummer.
a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive title? Like what day? Like obviously, we could speculate when the console itself comes out, but when do you think we'll have like this only works on Switch 2, or this is like the 3D Mario or the new Zelda?
Launch
You know what I'm
day.
saying? Like a launch. You think we're gonna get something like that launch day? Really?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Zelda launch day, and 3D Mario
Yeah, I
I could
don't-
see being like the big holiday title, you know?
Really? You see
End
that
of
as
the
a
year.
holiday, not launch?
See,
I mean, fair, but
I'm gonna say this.
I mean, it could be launch.
Sure.
Go ahead, Prime. Yeah. go
Well,
ahead.
I would say I kind of feel like holiday's gonna be Mario Kart. And
that
they
would
might
make sense to me.
and they might save 3D Mario closer to April when the Mario movie comes out. And so then you go, well, what's this is where, and I don't like to give Samus Hunter any credit, but what if Metroid Prime 4 is a cross-gen launch title? And then Nintendo also
Probably
has
gonna be, yeah.
some other casual game. Now, Mario Kart could be that game. They could launch with Mario Kart and Metroid
That's-
Prime 4 Beyond. That'd be a great launch combo. Those
That's
are two
what I
very
think.
different games.
I was about to say, I think they need something. They need to come out the gate swinging, and if they launch with, I mean, respectfully, Prime 4, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing game. I'm sure I will play it, but it's not. It doesn't have the weight of Mario Kart. You know,
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's definitely a placeholder. Art. I saw that.
Yeah, and you got the classic
The date,
Yeah.
though, that is pretty crazy.
Peggy 7.
Yeah, well, we'll probably get a Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day. They do that every year, and they'll probably say that's when we'll probably get all that official information that you were seeing there. So what it looks like is between this and Switch 2 rumors, it seems like there's a lot of internal or behind the scenes stuff from Nintendo and Pokemon and whatnot saying, "Hey, this is what's going on." Releasing at Anaheim would be insane if it's the same date as
That would be.
Anaheim regionals, because
Right.
everybody that's going to buy the game day one is not going to be able to buy the game. They're going to be in Anaheim.
What if they have
Including me.
a rep on site to sell it?
That would be crazy.
That would be
wild.
smart, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Physical copies in person. And even if it
Yeah.
was that weekend, like, yeah, we could talk about everyone who does Worlds. I mean, there's not 14 million people at Worlds. So
Yeah, but I'll say this though: every content creator, like every Pokemon content creator, goes to World. Like every major, like every single one, even
Sure.
and this Worlds is the most accessible Worlds they've had since before COVID. Like the last ones were London and then Japan and then Hawaii, which were all very non-accessible, at least from the continental United States.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of creators in person hanging out. Yeah. And so that I would just be surprised. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I'd be surprised if they released it that weekend.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Nintendo gives a shit about content creators.
Oh, well, I mean, but
they're talking about 10 million of this at launch or something like that. I don't think they're giving a shit about what content creators are doing.
What I'm saying is, though, I feel like the Pokemon company is a little different, though.
Maybe
because that's a Pokemon company.
I'm just throwing it out there because, like, we're talking about a mainline Pokemon game. It's going to sell like gangbusters no matter when they release it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And maybe they want to do extra promotions at Worlds while eyes are watching online at Worlds as well. You know,
yeah, maybe, yeah.
For it, they can have some of those content creators on stage playing it for the first time, and you know
that's true.
Yeah. So like, it's all who knows? We don't know what Pokemon company's plans are. By the way, what a shocker! Niantic accidentally leaked that there's going to be a Pokemon Presents on the 27th of February. That leaked out as well. No,
it's every year on Pokemon Day. I know.
It's been every single Pokemon Day since 2021. There's been a Pokemon Presents on the day. So like, oh no, I'm sure Pokemon company's so mad that Niantic accidentally leaked it out there.
Yeah. My friend Kathy said, or Sunny on Twitter said, they replied to that tweet and said, oh, big news, Fork found in kitchen.
Also, by the way, we know we were talking about those GameStop leaks earlier. There's even more.
There's wow. More. What is this?
There's even more. See if I can get
carrying cases now. Oh, it's cooked. Yeah, we're getting an announcement next week. Bro. Yeah. It's cooked. It's next week. So or maybe we'll get Thursday. Who knows? Or tomorrow.
Yeah, like we got carrying cases in there. We got what is it? Look at it, 1 terabyte micro SD card up in there for Switch 2. What I like to see in there is that 1 terabyte Switch 2 Express micro SD card, 150. What is the new Express standard?
What is Express? I don't like. Someone explain that to me. What is it just faster?
Significantly faster, like way faster.
Like just loads faster. Okay, that's all it is.
SSD speeds. It's almost SSD speeds.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I was curious about.
So we talked about this. I don't know, a few weeks ago, and like I looked into it quite a bit because obviously I'm excited about this new tech because of how it's going to relate to Switch. But I pulled up the article right here. It has sequential read speed of up to 800 megabytes per second. So it's on the low end.
Wow.
Because they said they can get it later in the article. They think they can get it up to at least 1200. So on the low end, it's at least 4 times faster than the fastest SD card.
By the way, you can't buy 1 terabyte ones right now. They're not even available to purchase.
Yeah, they haven't been. The most has been 256.
Yep. And we see someone pointed out earlier, the other screen had a 512 one. This one has a terabyte. Clearly what's happening is there's not a lot of devices that could take advantage of the microSD Express thing. But Switch 2 is rumored to be a device that can. So by having what Samsung, by the way, is rumored to be having a bunch of them coming out. And Samsung looks like they're the people fabbing the T239s for Nintendo. So they know intimately that Switch 2 is supporting it. So it sounds like we might get like simultaneous launches of like the 512 and the 1 terabyte alongside Switch 2. Like I see some people being like, oh, 150 is so expensive to 1 terabyte. When 1 terabyte micro SD cards came out, they were 200. So 150 for the Express at launch? I don't think that's that bad.
No, this is great. Like I'll definitely be.
I'll get it day one if they have that. If they have got that day one, I'm buying it.
Yeah, I'll be picking that up, no doubt. And yeah, this is really exciting because Nate, when we were talking about this, and Eric, we were talking about this, like we said a few weeks ago, we had mentioned the fact that we thought the reason why it hasn't went past 256 is because they're literally going to come out at the same time as Switch 2. And like, here we go. Like there's our confirmation that was dead on. So this is cool. I think those are going to sell really well. What do you guys think? Like, do you think there might be a little shortage, or you think they're going to have enough?
Have enough what?
Of these SD cards? Is Samsung going to be the only provider?
Samsung might be the initial for, especially
for them and SanDisk, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think Samsung is going to be the main. Like these ones are made. This one does. I don't know if there's enough information to tell. No, it doesn't tell us which company it is making these ones. I think Samsung is going to be the partner at launch. There might be official Nintendo Switch branded ones even at launch. I don't know. SanDisk does have the 128s and the 256s out there. I could see them wanting to launch also, probably alongside Switch 2, knowing that that is coming and people are going to be looking. People are going to be looking for those fast storage. So I think in store they'll be sold out because I think a lot of people will be like, hey, if we can get that, like if Nintendo advertises fast load times with Express, if that's part of their marketing, then yeah, they're going to sell out day one because the general consumer will know, hey, you want the best. You also don't want to just buy, you want to also buy the new micro SD card.
There's going to be retail suggesting, trying to upsell it to like GameStop's being like, we really recommend this card because of ABC.
Oh yeah. I mean, the guarantee they'll be suggested to push it.
They're gonna have to, otherwise they won't get any hours.
Right.
Sadly, that's how they operate.
GameStop, I'm so sorry.
It's crazy to me that we haven't seen anything, even on these little GameStop leaks that have been popping in, and regarding the new Pro controller.
Oh yeah.
I'm really curious about the Pro controller.
Well,
I'm worried about it.
I think the GameStop leaks don't have it because it's not made by a third party. So if you look at all the stuff on the computer, that's all third party stuff. So
yeah. I'm really curious about the Pro controller. My fingers are crossed. I want something that feels like, I love my Pro controller, but I definitely would like something that feels a little bit more premium,
Sure. Understandable.
A little bit more sturdy and premium. Sad we're not getting the analog triggers on Joy-Cons.
You think
probably
they'll
not
keep
getting it on the Pro controller either. Because I don't see them having analog and digital on the other. Like, I mean, would they do that? Do you guys think they would do that? Because that's going to give you a different experience.
They keep
I think they're going to be digital on both.
Yeah, same.
Just like a Switch.
Yeah. You think they'll keep GameCube compatibility or?
Yeah, there might be a third-party controller that does it, and then there's like some faint support in certain racing games for third parties that have it. But I think Nintendo's going to keep it pretty clean. It's going to be the only thing you're going to lose is the mouse support, which makes sense because you're not going to expect that in a standard controller.
Yeah.
But maybe they add the headphone jack or something that we've heard rumor before that will be there. All right, that'll be nice for headset support and headphones.
That's what you think you're going to lose the mouse support. They're going to put the optical on the bottom of it.
Oh my god! I swear
to your finger.
No, because it's got to be close to the ground. So it's going to be at the bottom of this.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to put your controller down like this and move it around.
So stupid.
Talking back here underneath, and you just move your finger.
Oh yeah.
You just move your finger.
No, put in the
little trackpad.
Yeah, put in the Lenovo nub.
Yeah,
the little nub. Put the little nub back there.
I feel like at the very least they should, because no one's done it in their base controller yet, and I'd love Nintendo to be like, you know what, we're gonna put the 2 paddle buttons on the Pro controller. I love those.
There's been rumors that there might be some back. I don't believe it because no one's ever done it. But
yeah, no one's done it yet. But no one's also put an optical mouse on their main controller format.
Lenovo Legion Go did it. To be fair,
fair enough.
But no one's done it of like the major company makers. Just like no one had a screen in their controller until the Dreamcast did it. No one had a touchpad until well, I guess I don't know, DS.
Yeah,
do we call that a touchpad? It's also a screen, so I don't.
Yes.
A lot of firsts.
So
from them.
That might be the end of Genki. The end of the leaks. Oh boy!
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Oh boy! We gotta get for starters. We had the motherboard leaks last week. We went over that last week, so we're not really going to revisit that much. There's still a lot of debate over the 8 nanometer, 5 nanometer. Doesn't really matter because in talk mode, this thing is sucking down 42 watts. Wait, how do we know it's sucking down 42 watts? Well, how about somebody who was fairly accurate with leaks back in the early Nintendo Switch days? Laura K. Dale coming on back to the forefront with a image of the back of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock that contains the wattage information. It takes in, if you do the math, the input that's from the wall to the dock is 60 watts. Massive. Nintendo including a 60-watt charging brick. That's awesome. That's gonna be rapid.
yeah.
That's gonna be rapid charging, which is great.
Mhm.
But it outputs. The output is what matters because that is what the Nintendo Switch 2 is taking when it's in dock mode. If you do the math, is 42 watts. That is more than twice the power draw of the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch dock can only output 18 watts. Guess what? How many watts do you think the Nintendo Switch uses in dock mode? 18 watts. So, 42 watts. That it don't matter if it's 8 nanometers. I don't care if it's 10 nanometers. That is a lot of power. Put in perspective, the Xbox Series S that sits under your TV is always plugged in. That takes 72 to 75 watts as an under console. We're talking about a tablet getting more than half of the power from your wall that a Series S does. Oh, baby.
Damn.
Oh, baby. Now you're playing with power. You got to bring that in.
That's
Yeah,
Nintendo
bring it
power right there,
back.
baby.
Bring it back.
Oh man, bring
Dude,
that
that is
back.
a perfect ad right now,
Happy.
especially if the games with DLSS. We're gonna get into that as well. There's some news on DLSS because Nvidia announced DLSS 4.0, and here's the thing: it's backwards compatible to the 3000 series of GPUs, which is what the T239 is based on. So DLSS getting even better on a system in dock mode that can suck down the kind of wattage. Like when we look back at what Digital Foundry was doing when they were trying to like compare it to the 2050 the 2050 mobile chip in a laptop that's really a 1050 chip kind of rebranded. So it's not even really a great comparison chip in the first place. They were trying to run that thing at like 18 to 20 watts. Excuse me. Switch sucks down more than double that.
Yeah.
Switch 2 does. So like that comparison is now completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant because we have way more power. So in docked mode, at least, obviously we don't know what handheld mode is going to be like. We got to, there's going to be handheld mode. Obviously, probably going to be. If I had to guess, I think the Switch was running between 7 to 10 watts in handheld. I think Nintendo might double that. They might double that to 14 to 20, somewhere there in handheld. It might be 14, and then if the user wants to use DLSS, they can choose to turn it on, and then it would suck more, but lower your battery. I think they might leave that up to the user. There are some rumors out there that there might be user optional DLSS in handheld because it will lower battery life. But I am pumped at this. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. Like, I know we don't have the clock speeds yet, guys, or the teraflops and everything exact. But just running at the clock speeds of the original Switch, we would already be at like 2.5 teraflops in dock mode. And we know it's going to be clocked higher than the original Switch, Tegra X1. So, is Switch 2 getting everything? Is Switch 2 getting everything? Like, this makes me even more confident GTA 6 could come over. I know. I was waiting for the skepticism on that one.
Not about that one. That one's kind of crazy.
Here's the thing: if GTA 6 is coming to Series S, it's coming to Switch 2.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
So
that's fair.
that's what I've said from day one.
Is it though? Did they say that?
Well, it's not.
Like,
Well, did they say it's coming to Series S? I know they said PlayStation. Well, PlayStation's at launch, but I don't know when they're coming to everywhere else. Is it listed for Series S?
Actually, I'm doing my. I just finished my most anticipated games for 2025 video. It's going live tomorrow at 1. And I looked up everything to make sure it was 100% correct for what platforms were coming to each game. And GTA 6 is Series S.
Why are people doubting GTA 6 coming to Switch 2 if it's going to Series S? It's officially listed on their website for Series S.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's coming, guys. Like, it's coming. Like,
what are we worrying about then? It's coming to Switch 2. It's coming to Series S. Come on.
Yeah. If Switch 2 can, if it has better specs than Series S, and we're not factoring in some areas, but in some really important areas, and we're not factoring in DLSS even. then why wouldn't it?
Yeah, why wouldn't it? Oh man. Here's the thing: if it gets GTA 6, then it's getting every third-party game that exists, because that's going to be the hardest to run one. And if it gets that, what game can't it run then? Well, realistically, what game can't it run? Might it run only on 30 FPS on Switch 2? I don't know. Maybe that's a sacrifice, because it sounds like it's going to only run 30 FPS on PS5. So I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're pushing max visuals there, and then obviously going to be cutting the visuals back on Series S and stuff. But kind of wild, man. Absolutely wild. The power of this system is I know it's not revealed yet, and I understand that like no one's going to care about the specs, the power draw, or any of this once it's revealed, right? Because the games are going to tell all. If the games look, play, and run fantastic, no one's going to give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? They showed Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in the reveal trailer, and people look at that and go, "Oh, that they're just showing footage from PS5." And then the thing flashes on screen on Switch 2 hardware. Everyone's just going to be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the Switch 2?"
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the camp that if it's as powerful as a PS4 and then uses DLSS upscaling and AI to make it look more advanced than first off, the PS4 has gorgeous visuals. You think about games like Ghost of Tsushima that came late, of War Ragnarok. Like no one's complaining about the way those games look. They're stunning. And then you enhance that with the AI upscaling. I think the power is a little bit less important now. Obviously, we want to get like those big third-party games coming to Switch 2 without being packaged with an apology that like crappy frame rates or the visuals look like you have Vaseline smeared on the screen. They're all, you know, like Hogwarts Legacy or Mortal Kombat that came to the Switch. If those games look and run solid, they don't have to look as good as the PS5 Pro, but if they look as good as the Series S, like in that range, that's all we need. I just get excited because of what Nintendo is able to do artistically, and from their development, we get stuff that's comparable to Series S, and then we see Nintendo take it a step further with their Zeldas and their Marios and other big first-party games. You're going to be seeing stuff. I mean, I remember when Mario Kart 8 first came out on the Wii U, I was like, this looks like a PS4 game. It looks so good.
It was, it's a very, very nice looking game. I remember playing that on Wii U as well and thinking, damn, this looks so good. And so many people are missing out on it. This sucks.
This sucks.
Yeah. I have to take my leave. It was wonderful being on again, of course. And I enjoyed the Switch 2 rumors. Maybe next time we talk, we'll have a trailer.
Yeah. What are you on again? Oh, you're not.
I'm on next week, and I might offer to be on the week after. It honestly depends. especially if we get a trailer.
No problem getting guests for January.
Yeah, I wonder why. Anyways, it was wonderful seeing you all again. I'll follow the YouTube channel, follow the Twitch. I'm doing game shows and stuff, and it's a good time. So yeah.
So have a good night.
Yeah, have a good one.
Good night, man. Good to see you.
Hell yeah. So there's just so much. There's just so much. Does someone else want to talk for a moment? I'm gonna bring up some of the other stuff we haven't gone over yet.
I will tell you guys something. So again, I'm not trying to like plug anything. I really am not, because you guys know I really don't do that. But this kind of goes like hand in hand with what we're talking about with upscaling. And I think everybody knows in chat too how much I love Wave Race.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being obviously realistic, okay, not hopeful, if I'm being realistic, are we going to get a new Wave Race? Come on. The most we'll get is Wave Race on NSO, Blue Storm, when GameCube comes, right? That's my realistic outlook, okay? So on this Retroid Pocket, and I haven't even docked it yet, because I have a 4K dock for it, so I'm gonna have to test that out. But and I'm not going to go into specifics here, but let me just say Wave Race Blue Storm, 4K texture pack, upscaled to 1440p. Wow. Like, holy
Yeah.
crap. No input lag.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't introduce, if you like sometimes throw a filter on a game, it'll introduce a little bit of input lag or something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Phenomenal. Okay. There's other things too that I've been doing and playing. Been messing around with some DLSS as well, and kind of getting back into that a little bit. While we, of course, wait for Switch 2, and because I'm testing out a product that I can use it on.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta say, like, again, what Nintendo is going to be able to do with it, right? Like you're saying, Game Bird, Nintendo, and what Retro and Monolith, it's going to be insane because again, what tinkerers or hobbyists are able to do, and I'm able to install it myself, and I do know how to mod pretty well, but I think if anyone follows instructions, they could probably figure it out. But the point is that if people that are into the retro gaming can figure this out, what can Nintendo do? Which just gets me very hopeful, especially with their retro library.
Super exciting.
Like, what can you guys do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can play these games that are 4x3 and I can put in codes for these games to play them in widescreen, which I can, and it looks great. It looks exactly how it should. It's filling up my whole screen now. If they can do that, what can you do, Nintendo? What can you do with DLSS? What can you do to get everyone want to sign up for NSO?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm a huge sucker for it. It might be a little bit of a weird thing, maybe not. We're all, diehard Nintendo fans, but one of my favorite things about a new Zelda reveal, and sometimes is a disappointment when we get a direct sequel, just because I get so excited about what's the new art style gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
So like thinking what Nintendo is gonna come up with, knowing that we're probably gonna get a refresh looking Zelda. It's gonna have the ray tracing, the new particle effects, and the lighting effects. What the hell are they gonna do with it? And just thinking about what we might get. Hell, dude, if we get the some people have speculated a full remake of Ocarina of Time. Thinking about that DLSS upscaling and insane visuals with throwing the symphony of those iconic music. It's exciting.
It
I
is.
can't wait to see the next Mario. Whatever the next big 3D Mario is, I can't wait to see what.
I know, like, I don't know if we've really talked about this actually on the channel as far as like when it comes to Mario, but let's throw it out there real quick. Where do we go next? We've done the lands, we've done the worlds, right? We've done the galaxies, we've done the Odyssey, right? Where do you go? Is it universe? Is that the next logical step?
It could be. I feel like we jump back to the 64 and Sunshine times of the expanding more. Those games are more open world, where while Odyssey, you have the big maps, it's still essentially level based, where you're hopping. Each world serves as its own level. I'd love to see something that really opens up. Hell, call it the Breath of the Wild treatment, where maybe, completing certain things. You have your open world. You could see, I don't know, Dino Land in the distance and Medieval Land in the other distance, and completing things within, Central Mushroom Kingdom unlocks new locations, and it's just an expanding open world with more, maybe you have your underground pipe areas, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about because I haven't put much thought into it. And there's a reason, because when I think about it too much, I get overexcited, like to the point that Nate does, which is okay, because that's how you roll. And I like that, and I appreciate it, because I see that. And it's like, I can't live that excited all the time, dude. Like, I won't be able to think straight. I already got ADD. Like, I don't need to be dealing with that stuff because I won't get anything done, right? But we're obviously on a podcast here and we're talking about it. It's like, I do wonder where we go from here. What's the next big step? I wonder if like Nintendo or if Mario series would ever introduce maybe like any sort of time traveling aspect where you go back to different times to add variety to the game.
I like that.
I'm kind of
like that.
obsessed with the time travel stuff, though. I love huge Back to the Future fan, of course.
Yeah.
Nate, what do we got here?
Well, we got show up. Yeah, it disconnected me. That's what was going on. All right. That's what I thought. Here we go. Demonic Brawler, just Super Mario Multiverse.
Okay.
Throw that out there.
There you go. That works.
Yeah, that was a Demonic Brawler. I think that's a neat idea.
I love it.
I love that, but what I really want is not mainline Mario related. I want them to do another Warrior spinoff, and I either want them to do Mushroom Kingdom Warriors, and it has the whole Mario universe in it, or Nintendo Warriors, where it's the multiverse. It brings, think like Dynasty Warriors, but with the Smash Brothers kind of thing. But I do love that. I do love Mario meeting Paper Mario meeting Superstar Mario and all those fun iterations. NES Mario's in the mix. Give them all quirky personalities. I like that.
Yeah. So I thought it might be fun because I put in my titles like, hey, everything kind of leaked, but we're only just going over the recent stuff. Why don't we take a look at the general outlook of these leaks? Because we have this article over at Pokios. Never heard of this website until today, but I saw them getting shared everywhere because they have put almost everything together. Almost everything besides some of the most recent stuff we talked about, like the GameStop stuff. But this website, man, they've got a lot going on. So as we go down, remember these bad boys? This was just like a week ago. This is supposedly an actual Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con. The left one, of course. This is the one where we got the optical sensor. Where we started figuring out the optical sensor there. I got a question for you since we're sitting here on the Joy-Con. Are you guys pleased with what we've heard about the Joy-Con? You guys feeling good about them?
Yeah, I would say it brings me a lot of joy, and I don't see any cons.
There it is.
Go.
Damn.
Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm pleased. They look so similar. Obviously, there's differences there. You could see how it connects is different. I feel like I'm really curious to see how it feels. It's obviously a larger controller than what we have on the OG Switch, and I only see good from that. Sorry, I'm distracted by that long fingernail. I'm staring deeply into the fingernail.
And
there's a
next
lot of
handheld
comments about it.
The next handheld clarified, those are not his fingernails.
Got it. That's from some of the AI. Threw in some fingernails to throw people off his trail. He's like, I got short fingernails. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, obviously, we have to look at the back of it. What's cool about this is there was like a serial number on here, which was neat. That you could check on Nintendo's website. To be fair, guys, the serial number isn't technically like 100% a way to tell if a product's real because you only have to have like the last digit has to be correct, and Nintendo's website will recognize it. But it would be a big red flag if it didn't recognize it. It's kind of like, but if you put it in and it didn't work, then it's definitely fake, right? So take that for what you will. But lots of good stuff with that one. Eric, are you pleased?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the rails, they just felt kind of chintzy.
Mine are loose.
Yeah.
Mine have like little, they creak back and forth a little bit.
And so I'm hoping that this type of connection is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like this solves that problem because it looks like it's thicker at the point that goes in. So that alone, I feel like, is going to create a better connection. Then you get the magnets, of course, which aren't like magnet. What's cool about the magnets is like you don't have to worry about rails bending right?
Yep.
You get loose. You don't have to worry about like breaking a locking mechanism, which some people broke the very first day.
Yeah.
Because it's just a cheap little plastic nub. So I feel like this had a lot of thought put into like, hey, we got to fix this wobble issue, because it'll just make it feel like a more premium product.
Right. I guess my big
but-
questions with the Joy-Con is like, do we have improved HD rumble stuff like that?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
stuff we can't know right now, right?
Right.
Like, is there a better
Right.
HD rumble? No clue. The ergonomics seem to be slightly better from some of the models we've seen out there, but even we don't know because it looks so similar. It's like one of those, do we really believe it's better until it's in our hand because it's got a flat back again? And it's like, all right, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
no drift.
So then this is the one where it's compared to a Joy-Con on the side. Again, it's slightly bigger because everything's slightly bigger.
Mhm.
And that's what she said.
Oh, there you go.
And here is, and this is a really weird look. This is my Necro Felipe showing, like, using a current Joy-Con in mouse mode. Why he's putting the left one in his right hand, I don't really get what he's doing. But yeah,
I love how he's pretending to press buttons too.
the buttons that are like
Yeah.
especially when he's moving his thumb, like there's buttons there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there would be if you put it in your left hand, buddy. It's the left Joy-Con, but you know, it just kind of shows that like it kind of makes it look where the fingers rest. I mean, the thing is, it's even better if you would use the right Joy-Con. The fingers actually rest perfectly on both the shoulder buttons, so it's like whatever. Obviously, this is just a render, but looking at the front side, it looks nice. It just looks nice. The Joy-Con looks nice. Obviously, we talked about this earlier, but then that obviously kind of added some confirmation to Next Handheld, who had this one the first time we supposedly saw the dock. Well, you know what's interesting about these photos? They're missing screws in the same spot.
Mhm.
So this bottom screw and this top left screw are gone. Same here. Bottom screw and top left screw. Also, some people pointed out that, and I double checked my dock. One thing that's interesting is that these are Phillips head screws. The current dock uses Y screws. Now, there's been some theories about this. I think the biggest prevailing one is that potentially this is not a retail dock, but a testing dock or a maybe even a dev kit dock. And so they're not obviously putting in like the Y screws, which are more difficult to get out. And like the screws, you can even look like that top right screw is not flush. Like that thing's got another crank in it, man. That is not down all the way. But it's interesting that like they both have that in common. So is this the same dock? They both got shown the same dock by different people, or is this potentially just a sign of, hey, this is at a certain line in production or a certain testing point. This is what it is because it's not done yet. So I don't know. Kind of interesting just to note that they both have those missing screws and they're using Phillips head when Nintendo hasn't used Phillips head. By the way, I'm all for them using Phillips head. There's no reason to use a Y screw.
Yeah.
There really isn't. Just use the Phillips head, Nintendo.
I don't know why they do.
It's stupid. And they act like, oh, it makes it so hard. Dude, every precision screwdriver kit in the world for $10 has the Y head. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're just making it more likely I'm going to strip the screw. I don't know. What are we doing?
That is true.
Like,
And then you're screwed, literally.
Hey,
God, you're full of it today, man. You got nothing but bangers today, man. Oh boy, I'm in trouble next week because Jake Randall's coming on. This is not going to go well for me.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, you and Jake Randall coming at me, and then Eric usually gets in on the action once Jake gets going. This is man, I better come with prepared with being wrong about nothing next week because I'm gonna get fucked in the ass. Then we got the motherboard leaks, baby. These were the big ones last week. The motherboard leaks. Like, can you? I'm sorry, I've never seen a motherboard leak before a system's revealed. Like,
right?
Even iPhone. I don't remember iPhone motherboards leaking. What is happening? How does this happen? Because someone, like, obviously it's at the factory, right? Someone's snapping photos. My question is why? Are the employees at the factory as frustrated as we are?
Probably.
Is that revealed?
You know, what I was wondering is how hard is it to get a job at the factory? Like what's the hiring process like?
Probably not
Me-
that hard.
Right. So are people literally just trying to get hired so they could leak it, like knowing that they're going to get fired? Like literally just, I will want to get on the factory line.
Yeah, just who gives a fuck?
I just need a way in the door. And as soon as I can get away from the overhead camera, I'm gonna try and do a teardown. You know, I'm gonna try and do
snap
get
a
some
photo.
pictures. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like
I mean, dude, it's this one's so wild to me because he got a picture of it on top of the Switch OLED. Like he brought an OLED into work.
I have a question for you guys, because like the tech side is kind of my blind spot. I'm not a super tech head, passionate Nintendo fan, but like the chipset stuff, it requires a lot of like research for me to fully understand what I'm even hearing. How hard is it to just fake something like this as far as like a leaked motherboard? Is this a pretty for certain leak, or is this something that someone could have just thrown in there?
It's very hard to fake a motherboard.
Yeah.
And
Got it.
chipsets and everything else. It's very expensive.
Got it.
Could you get one made? Yes. Will it cost $50,000 or more? Yes.
There you have it.
So like yeah.
Theoretically, you probably 3D print something like this, but
No, you can't. This is a 3D print.
well, yeah, I realize that, but you probably could.
Well, they do print the layers of the circuitry technically.
Yeah.
Technically. I don't know if they call it 3D printing though. No, I know they don't. I used to work at I can't say where I used to work, but I used to make motherboards. So like I know how the motherboard process goes. That's why I'm like, no, this is real. This looks exactly like what I was doing at work. And then when you're like in final inspection, you get the microscope out. You know, every single one of these boards is looked at under a microscope because you're looking to see if any of the traces are broken. And then if they are, you get to try to fix them.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Yeah, it's not fun. That was my least favorite part. I moved around a little bit in that factory, but the final inspection was not fun. But hey, it is what it is. They had good lunch food in the cafeteria, so there was that.
There you go. Isn't that all that matters?
Isn't that all that matters? Is that I don't get a long enough lunch to leave the building, so hey,
Right.
they give me good food in the cafeteria. That's like literally two steps from where final inspection is, so it doesn't really feel like you got away. Anyways, then remember these ones? This is going back now.
Mhm.
The prototypes. This is. I'm almost feeling nostalgic.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Switch 2 every week on this podcast. Obviously, I talk a lot on my show. We want to get talking about games. Heck, Donkey Kong comes out next week, right? We could be talking about who wants to talk about the third time releasing that game.
Is that motherboard
Not
match?
me.
Yes,
Nice.
yes,
Not
it does.
me.
Flipped.
Well,
But yeah,
right. Yeah.
The motherboard matchup. So like having that matchup is cool, but it's like, man, I'm almost nostalgic. This was peak Switch 2 leaks like 5 months ago.
Right.
This was peak.
Man, you mentioned earlier, Brian, about like red, like a black and red. And I'm like, just looking at this without the orange and the blue, visualizing like dark gray buttons with the red symbols on it and stuff, and how sick with the red analog base, how sick that would look. Oh, man. I want that.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy that we went from that to, hey, here's the T239. Have a good day. It's like, okay. The leaks have definitely gotten more advanced. That's for sure. Now what's interesting about this, obviously we're looking at a Switch 2 logo. This is not the exact logo. It literally says there. It's an unofficial image. However, the fact that we supposedly know this thing is called Switch 2 because everybody is saying it's called Switch 2, and this logo, PRO, one of the most reliable leakers in the world, says he has 2 independent sources that told him, yeah, this is basically the logo. This is it. This is what it is. Do you guys like the logo? Do you think this was the best? Like, if they call it Switch 2, which everyone is saying that's what it's called. So presuming it's called Switch 2, do you think this was the right way to go with the logo? Or do you think the 2 should be like next to the Nintendo Switch?
I like the 2 next to the logo. I do wish they did something a little more fun with the 2. Like obviously we have like or maybe they'll do it with like how the logo interacts. Right now we have the snap. Obviously this one doesn't snap. It clicks in magnetically. So maybe they'll do something really cool where the logo comes together with a new sound effect or an updated version. But I think the Joy-Cons with the 2 next to it looks pretty cool, personally.
So my thought is, I was kind of indifferent on it. I think it looks clean. It's fine. Nintendo's actually been very clean with Nintendo Switch. It's a very clean logo. I wasn't really sold necessarily on it until I saw, I think it was Necro Felipe. He shrunk it down in a hypothetical and put it on like the bottom of the end of a game trailer. Because the bottom line is like, it's got to be recognizable in a trailer. Like fans got to see it and just know, okay, that's Switch 2. Looks very good shrunk down. Like it's easily recognizable shrunk down compared to the Switch logo next to the PlayStation. Like it's just it just works. So I think in that sense, having a nice clean logo and having it easily recognizable in trailers, I think works. Obviously, the hard part here is like we know that the Switch, it worked with that side click thing with a 2 next to it. Well, if you're going to come in from the sides, it doesn't work as cleanly. Curious if they're still just going to use the click because it's a Switch still, that they just don't care. It's a Switch, and then they just
update it. Have that click with maybe a magnetic start to it. Snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. Because this is gonna be animated in some way, right? They're gonna have this. This logo is animated somehow.
I mean, what if they don't bring the Joy-Cons in like they did? But they bring the one set of Joy-Cons in and the 2 in, and then it snaps like how the Joy-Cons both came in.
Oh, you know what it could do?
You treat the Joy-Cons as one Joy-Con and the
what
2
if Nintendo has a lot of fun with the animation? So they have it coming from the side. Like everyone's, they see the Switch, they see the Nintendo Switch come up. They're expecting the snap down. Yeah. Instead, they come in from the side. The 2's not on screen yet. It hits in the middle, and then the 2 just kind of falls from the top and nudges the logo aside.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And then drops right in. That'd be a very Nintendo, Disney-esque thing. That'd be kind of cool.
I think it would look cool too. I guess it would probably dramatically change the logo, but moving that 2 in between the 2 Joy-Cons, I think would look kind of cool too.
Yeah, I've seen some people with some concepts for it.
Does it look as well as I'm seeing it in my head, or does it look kind of bad?
I thought it looked dumb, but you might like it. That's the thing. Like me thinking it looks dumb is just my opinion.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
Yeah. See, I think the logo is fine. In the end, the logo is not that big of a deal. Like it is a big deal because it's branding, but it still feels like Switch branding. So like it's fine. It's another Switch. So like it's fine.
I don't know.
If they do this, it sets them up for really easy. Where's the 3 going to go for Switch 3? Where's the 4 going to go? Like they're kind of they're set up for constant iterative with this logo. So that kind of works for them too.
Oh gosh. And then if we get to Switch 11, you just the Joy-Cons.
You just split the Joy-Cons apart a little bit. 11.
Okay. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't look good with the 2 in the middle.
Yeah. The fan one that I saw for it, I was like,
it's a little bit.
Yeah. You know what I like about it? Is it's clear that it's it's a new Nintendo Switch. It's very obvious. It's part 2. No one's gonna get confused. That's what I like about it. It's simple,
clean, simple. It's what we like. So that's what I was saying. That like it looks good, shrunk down. It's clean. This is the greatest logo ever. Who cares? They're going for something that's clear and obvious. So assuming that this is it, and again, I know some people will talk about how Pioro kind of outed himself and outed his source and all. That's fine. He's also gotten a bunch of stuff right since then. So the way I figure, Pioro is still like one of the most reliable leakers out there. If he tells me this is the logo or basically the logo, it might not be the exact font on the 2 or something, but like I'm gonna kind of believe him, which also means then I think it's called Nintendo Switch 2, which works really well. I think Nintendo Switch 2 is the best obvious branding they should do for an iterative platform. Just look at PlayStation. We don't need an Xbox situation. We don't need a Wii U situation.
Yeah.
Like just and we have Furukawa. Yeah. Furukawa is he's a numbers guy. Let's go back to he likes numbers, so he put a number on it.
I think it's safe. It works until they have a brand new idea, a brand new concept for a console. I think the number works. If they do something different, obviously you're not going to call it the Switch. It's going to be the Nintendo cream. I don't know.
The cream. Oh boy, they're gonna be creaming up over there.
Yeah. I got it. So instead of the snap now, they're gonna go clap. Because it's like the Joy-Cons coming
Oh my
to the
god!
side.
If they use a clapping sound, the Nintendo clap jokes are going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got the Nintendo clap! Everyone, I got the clap! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
It's gonna be great. So this is getting back to some of the Genki stuff that we've already seen. Obviously, the controllers there that are in that video on their version of a charging stand that can charge. Looks like 4 Joy-Cons. There are 2 pairs. Again, dude, even from here when they're in something, and dude, that orange and blue stands out, man.
Mm-hmm.
It pops.
It does.
That works. I think if that's the color scheme for launch, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good. It's clean. I mean, what I like about this is like this. I feel is like the closest we're seeing to what it probably actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the way that those back triggers are like just like they fold up a little bit there at the lip. I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, the triggers look a lot more comfy on this set of Joy-Cons.
Yeah, this I like this. This looks nice. Obviously, some people might want a bit more pop of color, but I think it's fine. I think the subtle pop is a good choice. Because then if you go too far with it, you don't want it to look like a toy. You still want it to look sleek.
Yeah.
And then this was the 3D print that they bought with their case where you can detach the controllers. Nothing, no big deal there. And then we get back to all these controllers they had. By the way, for everyone out there, I saw this a billion times on Twitter, more specifically. Oh my God, Nintendo's adding a T button? Guys, it's a third-party controller. It's turbo. Come on.
Yeah.
It's turbo. Like, it's a very... Turbo buttons have been around since like the 90s. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's what the C button's down here. Okay, it's got the C button. The T button, guys. It
was on your Mad Catz controller back in the day that you gave your friend.
Yeah.
Your friend that broke after
Always gave a friend the Mad Catz.
Always. Yeah, no one wants that damn Mad Catz. God, I think it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
On every system, by the way, I don't think there was ever a good one.
Nope.
So again, yeah, the T button's obviously just turbo. It's kind of funny having like the X and Y buttons and everything all mixed up because they're using Xbox controller layout, despite them knowing clearly what Nintendo's controller layout is. I thought this was kind of cool. They're third-party Joy-Cons. Looks like they put some lights on it, maybe. That's cool. I think we have some third-party Joy-Cons on Switch that have lights. I know we have third-party controllers that do. I think we have some Joy-Con ones that do too. And by the way, I heard everyone out there that said they wish that the colors were actually like LEDs. You know why Nintendo doesn't do that, right? Battery life.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about that battery life.
Mm-hmm.
And they even have things where like the controller batteries can be used to help charge the system as well to extend the system life. They actually already have that on Switch. So yeah, it's all about that battery life. So
absolutely. That's why I'm saying just let that dot glow. Just let the dot glow.
Yeah, a glow on the dock would be sick. Yeah, because that's plugged in all the time. And again, here's another version with a D-pad. You guys know if you have D-pad, you're gonna have to go third party. It's just the way it is for Joy-Cons. So it's always nice to see. Obviously, again, going with the RGB because people love RGB. That's what it is. And this is it compared to an OG Switch. Yeah, it's gonna look huge compared to an OG Switch. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, it's a monster.
And people like them big. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And this is just showing that their little case thing that folds down so you can pull out the controllers.
Nice.
This might be even look at how thin that case is they have. That might be a dockable case.
Yeah.
That might be.
That one might be dockable. Yeah. I love dockable cases. Those are great. There's not very many of them, but they're nice. And this is just throwing like their version of the grip, 3D printed out. What it'll look like. I thought this one was cool.
I love that. That's really cool.
That's a sick case.
That is a sick case.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I know this isn't licensed, but there's technically no Mario branding.
Right.
I just thought that was really cool. I put that in my video today. These ones we've seen a long time ago, a lot of these other accessory ones. But it's kind of just wild, like looking at all of these leaks. Like, there's just been so much, like all these accessory leaks that have been out for months and months and months, and now we're seeing these actually get listed on websites. The renders, D-brand challenging. By the way, shout out to this card NLH or IH. I can't remember which one it is. We've been using the renders recently in some of the thumbnails on my channel. We have permission. I talk to him. I link to it every time. I bring him up. I tag him on Twitter. I just want to note, fellow content creators, when you're using other people's stuff, you should give credit and link to them at least. I've been noticing a lot of people on social media and YouTube using his renders and no mention or link to anything. Guys, you're getting views because he made such clean, amazing renders. Give some credit. Shout the guy out.
Yeah.
Let people know. You should go check out his stuff because he's got a sick Metroid Prime 4 one that if I ever get some Metroid Prime 4 news, I'll probably use because he gave me permission to use everything. Like, yeah, and you guys know, like, people who follow my channel, sometimes I forget, but I'm pretty good about linking to where any resources or any assets in my thumbnails came from because you got to give credit, man. You got to give credit to these artists out there that are creating these amazing renders. So yeah, but yeah, look how clean that looks, man. Even the Nintendo Switch 2 logo, that just pops for me on that front of the dock. That's nice.
This was the image when I mentioned earlier in the cast that when I first heard it was going to be blue and orange, and I was like, I don't know, blue and orange. These were the images that I saw where I'm like, okay, that looks rad.
Now, obviously, this isn't completely following the rumors because it's below,
right?
Still, yeah.
These are the images that really sold me on it, though. And this one's cool because you get that, where it connects really pops. But even when you're looking at this one right here that you just went to, where it's the full Switch in the dock.
Oh, yep.
Just those accents of color on the buttons and the D-pad buttons. It looks great. They pop. They just give it a little extra flair.
Yeah. It's just subtle. It's different. It's enough. I'd like to see it with what it probably is with the color under the sticks, but still, even then, looks good. Obviously, just some fake box art here based on the current Switch OLED box art, but still looks clean. Obviously, there'll be probably more stuff on it on the original box because they got to advertise more stuff. But here it is detached. Obviously, lots of different renders out there, so it's pretty cool. These renders, by the way, these ones here that we first saw some really good renders of the dock. These are by LMRTJ over on Twitter. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool going back and looking back through all that stuff because there's just been so many. I mean, I swear I could probably go glance right now and find even more leaks because like the GameStop stuff happened while we were live. So naturally, the Nintendo Switch 2 is being revealed some point this month, next month, right? It's being revealed, right? This by the end of March officially from Nintendo, right? So we know as the weeks count down, there's only X amount of weeks left in the fiscal year. Where are our hype levels for this system right now? How hyped are we, and why? Let's start with Eric. How hyped are you, and why?
I am so hyped that I would do things that are not allowed on YouTube.
Wait.
Breaking news.
Taking off all my clothes and running around the house. But
if your underwear's on, you can still do that.
Yes, I know.
Just keep that on.
Yeah.
YouTube allows it if you keep your underwear on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eric's got a code though. If it's worth doing right.
Right. Yeah. Worth doing it's worth doing right.
You got a blur bar that I can carry around?
Sensor bar. You're so excited you want to go streaking. Got it. That's what it is. We're going streaking. The quad in the gymnasium.
Right.
All right. Gamebird. Where we at, buddy?
I'm a 10, man. I can't help it. I friggin' love Nintendo. I get excited every time just knowing that they have such a rad concept that works so well. And then they're taking that same concept that we all love to the next level. They're incorporating the upscaling, DLSS, more power, all that goodies, probably more functionality. Can't wait to see the OS. And I mean, it's all about the games, baby. Knowing we're getting a new 3D Mario, knowing we're going to be getting a new Zelda, possibly docked in 4K with ray tracing and all those bells and whistles. it's exciting times. And I think Nintendo learned a lot from Switch, especially from what it means to have a strong lineup in your launch year and how that affects sales. Having Zelda and Mario in year one propelled that system into popularity. And they know that going into this console. I'm expecting 2 phenomenal games with some great third-party stuff in the first year. Not sure they could beat 2017 with Mario and Zelda in 1 year, but nothing's off the table. I think Nintendo learned a lot. I think they're going to be coming in all guns blazing.
Okay, Thunderstash.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working towards this for so long, and I just think about all the console launches over the years. Yeah, I think about being in high school and camping out 2 days for GameCube at Best Buy. Like I was that was obviously I was in November 2001. I was a sophomore. I think it was sophomore year, maybe. Yeah, sophomore year. And man, it was so much fun. And then camping out for the Wii, of course, when that came out, we camped out on Friday. We got there Friday, first in line. Bunch of us. This is bear in mind, I was younger then, right? So I think it was about 10 of us. We got a tent, we got a projector, we got a generator, so we can obviously project it on Best Buy's wall and play video games. I had a Sharpie because everyone is asking me for a number, like people getting in line. They're like, I heard you're the guy to go see. I'm like, yeah, give them a number. So we were keeping track of it. That way people could leave line and, go to the bathroom and stuff. Obviously, go get something to eat. They're like, what are your rules? I'm like, I actually, I don't work here. So they're very lenient. I think about all these like great memories, right? We had our friend's van that we basically had a little mini bar in the back. Now we're not driving, of course. We're camping out.
Yeah,
but we're going back there making drinks, putting them in a 7-Eleven or like Thirst Buster cup. No one knows what you're drinking. But we're having a great time. We're making friends with everybody. We're meeting people just like we do here online, but we're doing it in person. That's one thing I love about the midnight launches back in the day or the console launches, is just meeting people and talking video games with people that get it. And like they're on the same page as you. You're on the same wavelength. And so I just think about all these great times, camping out for the Switch, the NES Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic, the 3DS, the DS. And point is that those are all like super awesome, great memories. I've never felt like the build up to a new console has been this grand. I actually always wondered if that would ever happen again, because I was really in the thick of it for the GameCube, like during the Dolphin era, and no doubt I was with the Nintendo Revolution. Like those two, those two consoles, and the rumors and being in internet forums. I remember going to like planetgamecube.com all the time, like multiple times a day, checking for new news and checking out the forums and just like searching the web, even when it was like more in its infancy stage, for rumors and stuff, scouring the internet. And all those times were just so much fun, but never has anything built up like this. Never have we seen leaks like this. I think a big thing we have to all take into consideration is that, in our lifetimes, we've never had, it's never has happened. I say in our lifetimes, because I've been there since the beginning, 85, but I was obviously a kid, baby, but we've never experienced this large of a gap between new consoles ever. Not even close. This is the longest wait ever. Like, certainly the hype level is going to be absolutely through the roof because of how long we've had to wait. By the time this comes out, we are going to surpass by a little bit, in my opinion, 8 years just by a little bit. Probably, 8 years and a few weeks to a month. 8 years is a long, long time.
Mhm.
Someone, I saw someone post on Twitter, and I guess I just didn't take, I know it's a long time. You guys all know it is. Everyone in chat does. But someone said, it's crazy to think that you could have been in 4th grade when the Switch came out, and now you're graduating high school with the same Nintendo. Like, now you're in 12th grade. You're literally graduating with the new console. And I'm like,
That's insane.
oh my God. That's true. Like, that's crazy. Like, to think, the system you got when you were in 4th grade is the same system you were playing as a senior in high school. What?
Yeah, it's wild.
When you put it in those terms,
Yeah.
oh wow, dude, that's weird. And then even as I was making my video for most anticipated games, another thing that hit me hard was, obviously we all know GTA. It's going to be 12 years, right? If it comes out this year, it'll be 12 years. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, we all know 12 years is a long time, but I'm like, oh my God, wait. I turned 40 in May. The last new GTA came out when I was in my 20s. Yeah, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my God, the 12 years just became way worse. 20s to 40s.
Yeah.
And same with Metroid Prime when I was making the video. I'm looking at Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and it's like Metroid Prime 2 came out in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at 21. It'll be 21 years, and then Prime 3, 18 years. We've been waiting that long for a sequel to Metroid Prime. It doesn't feel like it's been 18 years since we got Prime 3, does it?
No, man.
No, no,
it's
it doesn't.
weird.
I got hit with that same feeling when Prime was announced, and also at this year, I was at this year's Game Awards, and when they announced Okami as well as Onimusha, when that game first came out and I picked it up on my PS2, it was like my number 2 to Zelda. I was just obsessed. I loved that series so much, and it did relatively well. And then Capcom abandoned it. They gave it a very lazy remaster.
Yeah, they did.
This gen. That was disappointing. And so I was like, well, that's done. That's a gaming dream down the drain. I really hope that game comes to. I know Capcom and Nintendo have pretty good relationship. I hope that game comes to Switch too. I really hope that game comes, as well as Okami, which I do think is a lock for Switch 2. A game like Okami is going to thrive on
Yeah, it
Nintendo.
came out on Wii, right? I mean, yeah,
Yep.
It was day and date on Wii.
It was the superior version on the Wii, in my opinion. I have 4 copies of that game, so I love
Nice.
that game.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that announced. There's so many great games coming, and even when we were doing, Nate, Eric, and I were live streaming the Game Awards, and there's so many exciting games shown that are a ways away, but it's like, man, which ones are coming to Switch too? That's constantly in your head, and it feels like a lot are.
Yes,
Mhm.
a lot.
If not, most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so look. How excited am I right now? Where's my hype level at? Are you freaking kidding me? Do you know how excited I am for this system? Do you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I mean, I just got back from my streaking session, so
Yeah, they're streaking with the dog outside. I don't know what they were doing, naked together, baby. I'm so excited.
not that.
Not about that.
Not that.
Not excited about that. I am so excited. Oh my God. I've been through so many different console launches and all these different things, and I've never gotten to do it with other people that are maybe not screaming as excited as me because they're not as wild as I can get. This is me sober, by the way, guys. I think it's way worse.
Mhm.
I am so excited. look, I have a lot of passion for what I do as a YouTuber. I know, like, get all the clickbait and all the you're terrible YouTuber stuff out there, haters. It is what it is. You can't ruin my excitement. You can't take this away. It is so raw. It is so built in me. Like, I used to only be able to get this way with a few Zelda fans when like a Zelda game would come out. Dude, we have a massive community. We have a podcast breaking records tonight. And the system's not even revealed. Can you imagine after it's revealed? Like,
Right.
Like this is why like we're doing the host of the show, like whenever it's revealed, we have a podcast happening that day, even if it's not Wednesday, because we don't care. We know how big a deal this is. Like, this is Thunderstash just brought it up, 8 years. 8 years. You could have went through middle school, high school, 8 years. You could have gotten it as a freshman and graduated from a 4-year college by now. Like, this is wild how long it's been. One of Nintendo's longest generations. It is so rare. Of course, we are going to be there the day it's revealed, coming together to talk about this on a podcast, because we have to. We simply have to. This is unreal. My video today, it's probably going to be a 30K before this damn thing's done. It's only been up for like 2.5 hours because people are excited with me. People are that excited right now. I think that for me, this is a very special moment for me, because not only do I now have a podcast crew, the people that I get to celebrate the day of release, the day that it's announced, all that stuff. We talk behind the scenes, sharing information between each other, talking about the games we're playing and everything. Got this huge community that we get to do this with as well. I grew up with just this guy over here, Eric, as like the only person that would even be remotely excited. And he wasn't even that excited at every system launch, because it's all about the games, right? It's got to be a game he's interested in. Maybe Mario 64 is the last time I saw him really excited, and we were kids. Like, that's how long it's been since it's been like, oh, it's super exciting at launch to get. Like, I just haven't had a community that gets as excited as I do about Nintendo. Like, if Metro Prime 4 Beyond is the launch game, I don't think that that's going to be a game that's going to resonate with 18 million people. But I do know it's going to resonate with everyone that's surrounding me here. It's going to resonate with everyone in my community.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have people that are just as excited, if not more excited than me. And so I am at a point where maybe for my health, I try to contain the hype a little bit. Because if I ran at maximum level, the way that I actually feel about Switch 2 24/7, I might not make it to Switch 2's launch. So for health reasons, I don't let myself go maximum level 24/7. But I'm going to tell you, on the podcast that it's revealed, you get maximum Nate the whole show. I'll try not to shout the whole time, but you're going to hear a lot of excitement, beaming smiles. The only way is if it looks like an utter disaster. And I don't even think that's even possible. I don't think there's any way they reveal this and I'm not just like, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Finally. You know? Like kind of like The Rock every time he comes in. Finally. The Rock is finally Nintendo has come back to retake the conversation and the crown. Right. I mean, they already have the crown. They're just kind of, we're just transitioning and we're just gonna pre-crown the next one. There aren't words I can come up with to describe how hyped I am. So I'm just going to leave it at thank you to you guys on the show, to you guys in the audience, to all the guests we've had on all the episodes that we've talked about Switch 2, which has pretty much been every Nintenbyte episode, because it kind of started, Nintenbyte Podcast kind of started when the hype cycle was starting for Switch 2. So for 37 straight episodes, the hype's been there. Obviously, eventually, there won't be a Switch 2 or a Switch 2 logo in the thumbnail because we'll have games to talk about.
Right.
I can't wait for the day that 3D Mario is the damn thumbnail for our podcast, because that's the lead topic, or the next Zelda game, or whatever, the next Pokemon, the next Pikmin. I can't wait for when we get to finally dive into all those conversations that we're just not having right now outside of the fringe. Oh, wouldn't mouse controls be cool in that? Sure. But we don't have the new ones revealed yet, so we don't know. But it's going to happen someday. And I want this, I have this dream, and Eric and Thunderstash know about what I want this podcast to become down the line. And I Switch 2 is really the catalyst of all that. Switch 2 is the catalyst right now of my career as a YouTuber. So like in every facet of my life, Switch 2 is like the maximum hype, except the bedroom. Sorry. My
you and Eric, dude.
Yeah, between me and Eric. Eric. Well, you know what? No, I'll leave it alone. As I say, we got the twin stick action, but we're not dealing with that. All right, let's get to the Q&A. So guys, you can super chat in your questions for the Q&A. We already have a bunch in, but you can keep super chatting more. Even if it's not a question, you just want to make a statement, that is fine as well. Some of them I already showed off during the show when it was appropriate for what we were talking about. But Vanada712 at the very beginning of the show was like, new pickup line. Is that a Joy-Con in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
The answer would easily be, it's a Joy-Con.
The funny thing is, in the early days of Switch, I used to take off the Joy-Cons and put them in one pocket and put the Switch tablet in the other because it fit.
Yeah.
People talk about, it doesn't fit in your pocket. Yeah, it does. My pockets, maybe. Yeah. I have big pockets. Thank you so much. That was funny. Demonic Brawler says, I like how the newly GameStop back-end leak shows the price of the 512 SD Express card. Now I know how much to save up because I gotta have it too. Sure you don't want that 1 terabyte one for $150, buddy?
Right.
How much is the 512?
I don't even know. I think I still have the.
I think it's at 80. I think it's at $84.99.
Yeah, $84.99 for the 512, $50 for the 256. Which, by the way, that's about what the 256 costs right now out there. So there you go.
I'm gonna get that 1 TB.
Yeah, you know what's nice? It's the same price in Australian dollars for you Aussies out there.
Give me that 1 tuberculosis.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, it's kind of cool that, and by the way, obviously this GameStop stuff will be in my video tomorrow, guys. So all right, let's see here. Karkun just reminding how excited they are to have Eric back. The ever appreciated Eric.
Oh yeah.
Clapping Zelda cheeks. Glad to see you back.
Heck yeah.
You used to be a regular. I don't know what happened, but you came back to clap some more Zelda cheeks. I get it.
That's a great name.
Yep. I don't know how you clap the cheeks in Echoes of Wisdom because you were Zelda, but hey,
Yep.
You know what? Echo away, baby.
Torquing it.
Torquing it. If they really are bringing back Miiverse, okay, this actually gets to the OS leaks, which we didn't talk about the OS leaks because I personally don't find them to be credible. But if Switch 2 is not revealed before the next show, if I'll ask my crew if they want to bring up those OS leaks that are out there. I don't believe them at all. They're very sus, but the idea is basically some sort of Miiverse like thing coming back. I'd love to see a Tingle Bottle again. It's like playing with friends while not having it.
Ooh.
The Tingle Bottle. Because it is. They put a message in a bottle and you randomly find it in your game. Yeah, why talk to your friends?
Yeah.
You don't have any.
And obviously you open it up, it's a dick pic. I mean, obviously.
No, that's every time you go into the Splatoon general area. You see the images pop
fair
up.
enough.
Every now and then you're like, oh, that got past Nintendo's filter. That's fun. That's fun. Karkan said, must be an NDA that expired due to internal delay for the reveal, or they have balls. So Genki's not under NDA.
Yeah.
They're not an official partner. They just have giant balls of steel. So does D-Brand, by the way. D-Brand don't give a
Which, actually, speaking of Genki, I'm pretty sure that they're actually a Japanese company.
They're a Japanese. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Yeah.
Great. They're going to have the ninjas at their door tomorrow.
Yeah.
Karkun comes in for some yen here, 500 Japanese yen. Nintendo doesn't control the narrative, sure, but at the same time, the narrative is, we are so excited! They won't change their plan. Team January, baby. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what happens. Taker 610, mouse functionality in Prime 4. Yes. Oh, that'd be so nice. It's a first-person shooter, maybe.
Yeah. Show it off.
Dude, that'd be so...
That's what they always do it. We know this with the launch title. Whatever the launch title is, it's first party. They always show off the new tech.
Yeah, and it'll be something you can't...
Man, think about how much...
It'll literally be, you can't do this on Switch. You get standard controls on Switch.
An amazing range of choices if that's the case, because then you'll have mouse. You do mouse for FPS. You could do motion controls. You could do, traditional controls. That's pretty rad. to think
It's
about.
pretty badass, man.
Play how you want.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those games that just makes sense for. Goat 816.
I'd be having a Joy-Con in my pocket. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
The Joy-Con 2 in your pocket. Maybe that's what the C button is for. Changing color. No, it's not RGB. I don't think it's a changing color button. What?
That would be so great. I actually love that.
Yeah, it just changes color of non-RGB things. It just, it's a mechanical thing. It just brings in a blue little thing over the top, and then you hit it, and it mechanically changes it to red. Dude, that would be so expensive of a mechanism. But hey, they used to do stuff like that, like back in the 80s. There was a lot of tech that was really mechanical like that. Tall Show, attempt 24-ish. New total.
Trying to get the total.
Trying to get the total for the streak, which we haven't hit technically because we overshot 69. We're at 83. Tall Show. I know you said that a while ago, but just trying to get the new total. Damn it. Demonic Brawler. What date will the reveal happen? A, the 14th. B, the 21st. C, the 23rd. D, the 29th. E, February 4th. Or F, none of the above. Let me look at that.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So the 14th, 21st, 23rd, 29th is all what? March?
No, this is reveal. So that'd be this
January.
month. That'd be
Oh,
January. And the 4th would be the investors meeting day in February.
So a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Wednesday. And then the 4th is a Tuesday.
Again, I have to plead the 5th.
I'll say C, the 23rd.
Okay.
I'm hoping for either A or B because then we get mass amounts of coverage on the podcast.
Dude, A would be 6. We'd have back-to-back podcasts.
Right?
That'd be sick. Back-to-back podcast,
even
14th,
B.
15th. We'd probably
Or
have
C.
to. We'd have to. And the thing is, there'd be even more to talk about
Actually-
the next day because there'll probably be more third-party reveals and stuff
You know
the day
what?
after.
D would even work because it's right on a podcast day.
Yeah, D would be perfect, obviously, for podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'll take the 14th. I'll go back to the 21st. I'll go back to back.
Yeah, right.
I'm just thinking of the podcast
23rd.
at this point. I'm not even. Anyways, I'm not giving. I'm still pleading the 5th. I'm just saying days that would work out great for my channel.
Actually, all of these would work out fine because they're all either back to back or Wednesday.
And none of them are Friday. Yulia would get mad if I had to do a podcast on a Friday.
Fair enough.
But yeah, maybe Nintendo could reveal on a Friday. Who the hell
Dash, what day are you thinking?
14th.
There you go.
14th. There we go. There you go. Same week as DK.
So soon. I love it.
Yeah.
I know. Hyping it up. Let's go. All right. Okay, Windows. Demonic Brawler came in and said, what will Nintendo do first? Another dedicated Switch 1 Direct. The Switch successor will not be in this presentation. Or reveal a Switch 2. Reveal a Switch 2. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't. Some people have speculated Nintendo doing a little Xenoblade presentation, which I could totally see. That's a valid move for them to promote that game coming to Switch. But I cannot picture at this stage in the life cycle, knowing that Switch 2 is right around the corner, doing a full Switch 1 presentation with, rest of the year announcements for their first console. It's going to be Switch 2, and, some games are going to be cross-gen. So.
Apparently the chat's yelling at me that we did hit 69. I'm going to do the manual math because I never put it out there, so you never had the correct conversions. So I don't know how we could have hit it without the correct conversions. That being said, Eric.
Yeah. I want to kind of see, I'm hoping it's in the Switch 2 reveal, but what I'm actually hoping for is then that Nintendo actually has a little fun with it and says at the beginning of the thing, there will be Switch successor news in this presentation. Because they keep coming out and saying it's not. Oh, there will be this time.
They have to do something similar to that. They have to say, we want to let you know that there will not be any discussion of Nintendo Switch 1 games in this presentation.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Yeah. So you're expecting no.
Yeah.
But I like where you're going.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing math. Next one here. Because I'm a Pokemon fan. Go Eagles this weekend.
Okay, bye. Oh, wait, where is he at? I'm going to time him out for
Time out for that Eagles. Demonic Brawler. Time travel is real. Just buy a plane ticket and travel from one coast to the other, and you go 3 hours in the future of the past. Time zones. Time zones are fun. Let's see here. Andrew Brightwell. Nate, it couldn't be a chat for me without this. Heard anything about an Ocarina Time remake?
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew Brightwell. What about any other game leaks? Haven't heard anything. So I haven't heard anything about Ocarina Time remake. I don't know anything. Any other game leaks? There was one thing we didn't cover. There was I gotta go back to my video now. I don't even remember what games there were. Something that had a leak from China. Chinese forum. Let me see what the leak was. It was in or a rumor. I guess call it a rumor. It was, here we go. Switch 2 teases multiple Nintendo games. Here we go. Let me just skim the video quick. It was right here. Okay, so the games that were teased were the dev team of ARMS. Again, this is a rumor out of China, so don't know. It is the ARMS team working on a custom Robo sequel. Some sort of Assassin's Creed. These are all for Switch 2, by the way. Some sort of Assassin's Creed coming to Switch 2. Probably Shadows, I'm assuming. And apparently the entire Resident Evil series is coming to Switch 2. And unfortunately, according to this rumor, no Virtua Fighter 6 for Switch 2. Unfortunately. Yeah, those are the games like specifically brought up. So to answer your question, that those are like the only rumors that are out there for Switch 2 stuff besides stuff that we covered last year. So there you go. Vanatra 712 just saying nice. We got Demonic Brawler saying buy Switch 2 day one.
No.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
I mean, I'm
my
going to
greatest fear.
There's no way I will. There's no chance that I will not have it on day one.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No matter who you have to kill.
Doesn't matter. I'll have Switch 2.
It doesn't matter. I will have Switch 2. I know the chat just keeps saying we hit it. I'm literally looking at the super chats and I counted backwards, guys. We didn't hit it because of the conversion rates. I told you guys didn't have the updated conversion rates. I literally went back. It didn't happen. You can argue it's my fault. Didn't happen, but Vanatra 712. How much more do I donate to get Eric to do the thing that would get him banned from YouTube? I don't know, Eric, how much?
Yeah, right.
How much? He's not doing it on this channel. It'll have to be
right.
one of my backup channels.
Right. The Not Dead channel.
Yeah, the Not Dead channel. We'll bring that one back.
I don't think chat is ready. They'd all be like, holy shit, that's a lot of Joy-Con.
Wait, where does Joy-Con go? It's more like it.
I like people getting mad at me. I literally did the math. You guys were off. You were off by like 10 cents. I hate it. You guys know how strict I am about it. Like it's got to be the exact. What do you want me to do? The conversion rates, man. All right. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't matter. It's not like the streak can be lost today.
Right.
Will Nintendo reveal Switch 2 before I retire?
Well, like for the night?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Like for the night, or are you retiring at the end of the month from your job? What are we?
What are we working with here? What are the conditions?
Yeah, what's the condition? Because like I'm looking at your profile picture and I know what that's from, but what if that's you?
Oh, that's the is that the Crypt Keeper?
Yeah.
Oh man, that show, that intro was so good back in the day on HBO. Oh, Tales from the Crypt.
The movie, what was it? Demon Knight, I think it was called.
Yeah, the one that came out in like 94 or 5.
Peak right there.
I remember renting that on VHS at Blockbuster. Remember having to talk my dad into letting us rent it because right. Mom might not approve of it.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if that was you, if you're the crypt keeper, then I assume you're already retired.
Yeah.
Too late. And let's see here. Taker 610. Only the original Game Boy will have been on sale longer than the Switch, from 89 to 98. And yeah, that's because they did the Pocket, and then they did the Color.
Mhm.
And they're counting that all as the same gen, which that's fine, I guess. That's kind of like what they did like the DS and 3DS, right? You had your light version, then your slightly more powerful, system combo DSi and new 3DS. So I get that. I mean, Color felt like a really big leap for a lot of us back then. But I mean, if we think about it, like technically, I mean, it was kind of like the same gameplay. Really wasn't that big a difference gameplay wise, but man, it felt huge. It felt like a leap. Game Boy Color felt like a leap, that's for sure. But yeah, Nintendo officially counts it all as one gen. So yeah, it's their longest gen. That's your longest gen. For people wondering what the last total is, we are at 83 right now. If people in the chat are trying to figure that out, if you're trying to hit the 150, we're at 83. All right. And yes, as I said in the chat, it's fine. I don't want to argue with people. We'll count it. Just remind me tomorrow night. I'll add one to the streak. Because yes, I will be live tomorrow night. I wasn't going to be live on Thursday, but now I'm not picking people up till Friday. So, All right. That being said, shall we go around the room and let people know what we got going on, where they can find us as we wrap up the show?
Heck yeah.
Eric.
I'm here. Until I'm not.
Well, that was succinct. Short and sweet.
Fact.
Eric is here until he is not. You're wearing a Brewers shirt. It's the off season.
Yeah, I know.
The Packers have a playoff game.
I know.
The Bucks played today.
I know.
And you're wearing a Brewers shirt.
Yep.
So just supporting those off season moves. You're hoping for some trades.
Yep.
We're the Brewers. We don't do that.
Yeah.
He's a rebel.
No, wait. We traded Devin Williams.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We get rid of talent.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
We get rid of good players. We don't bring them in. All right. Gamebird.
You guys can find me on Gamebird Classic. Channel's been a little quiet lately, but I've got tons of content that's going to be coming this year. You better believe, especially when we get some official Nintendo Switch 2 news. Expect some videos, discussions on that, as well as some really fun sketches surrounding that. And big shout out to Prime. Exciting time. I'm stoked for you and the podcast. You got a fun season coming on the horizon. And
I feel like we got to start season 2.
Mm.
Do we start it on reveal or do we start it on release?
That's a good question. Maybe you start season 2.
I think maybe we got to turn the chapter of the rumor leak season to now it's real.
Yeah, I think that's
launch season.
I think that's
real
good.
season.
Yeah, I think you do it at the reveal pry, right?
Okay.
Because now it's real.
Our bonus episode becomes episode 1 of the new season.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. I'll still keep track, by the way. I still want to celebrate when we've hit a full year of the show. Obviously.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, got it.
Totally.
Okay. Because I just feel like we got to turn a page. So you got to turn a page.
You gotta. Yeah. Bob Seger.
Yeah, there you go. Thunderstash. You got going on? Where do they find you?
Yep, you can find me at Thunderstash Gaming here on YouTube. Tomorrow I have a video coming out. I was working on this for a while. It takes a long time to make some of these videos, especially for this one. It's my most anticipated games of 2025, and I mentioned at the start of the video that, and I'll just tell you guys, I've been doing this since the dawn of the internet, since IGN was first around, when they were IGN 64 back in 96. And they were really like the first website to like put together a legit video game release calendar. And this is back in the day when you didn't, and you guys could attest to this, but we didn't have like hard release dates. We didn't know when a game was coming out. Like we didn't have actual launch days for a lot of games. Wasn't unless you were like a really big game, like obviously Zelda on 64, like Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. A lot of the games you kind of just had to call Best Buy. And again, like I still remember their phone number. It's 494-2500. That's how much I called them back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I still remember Blockbuster's number because you'd call to see if the new games came in. So it was a different time. But with these video game release calendars today, and point is, I've been doing this forever. Got on a little tangent there, but with the release calendars, you have to go to all these different websites because IGN doesn't have all the games. They're missing like major games, right? And I'm like, who proofreads this? And no, nothing against IGN or anyone, but then I go to GameSpot. They're missing major games. Again, who proofreads this? You go all over, everyone's missing stuff. Big games, right? And I'm like, how is this not in there? Or how is this not on anyone's radar? And then, I also see other YouTube channels make videos, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to put together a master list of the games coming out and make a video on it. So it's a longer video. It's like 49 minutes. But I will, it's action packed. It's
I'll be watching that tomorrow while I'm researching.
Thank you. 57 games. And obviously there's the big AAAs. There's the indie titles that nobody's thinking about that I've been keeping a very watchful eye on that I know is going to be good. And I'm batting a very high percentage on good games when it comes to picking them out. So again, these are games that you should put on your radar for this year that no other channels are going to have all of these games together in one video. So it's a good use of your time. And I made sure to put some very good background music in there. I think it's very choice. I was like, I need to stop listening to this music and finish making this video. So that's going live tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. And then next up is, is this baby, the Retroid Pocket 5 review. Just, hold me over until the Switch 2. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. That's what I'm doing. And then it's off to Indy. Then it's off to Indiana.
Nice.
You guys all know about that, right?
No, I do not.
Yeah. Indiana Jones is next.
Oh, yeah. That's what you meant. I was about to go to the state of Indiana. Why you going
Yeah.
Nothing there. No one cares about Indiana. I live in Wisconsin. Unless you live here, no one really cares. Indiana Jones. I'm still playing that. Still on. I'm slow playing it because there's not a lot coming up right now that I'm excited about in the immediate. So, giving myself some time with that. It gets so good.
I was gonna say, just tell me it's good, right? Yeah,
it's the best indie story since the first 3 movies. I'll tell you that.
I'm a huge. Let me just say this. I'm a huge indie fan. I was there to see, obviously, Indy 4, day one. Sat through it, obviously. Indy 5, day one. Like, these are movies that I see at the premieres. Love them. They're like Rocky for me. They're like, Back to the Future. All the good movies. So, yeah, I wanted something like this. That's a good story. So I'm glad to hear that. Looking forward to it.
All right. I see Tall shows like, you want to get that beer chug in tonight? Do I want to get it in tonight? No. Will I get it in tonight? I'll think. Okay. All right. Here. I will do it while you guys talk about this last super chat we had come in. Unless more come in. We have one more super chat here. Imagine Nintendo collabs with Sony and we get PS1 and PS2 on Switch 2 MSO. So what I want to spin this off and do, because that's not going to happen, right? Like Sony's not doing that. But what third-party platforms do you think are possible for Nintendo to add NSO over the next few years? Let you guys talk about that while I take care of this beer.
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is $99.99. Sega Dreamcast. Give it to me.
Anything, Sega.
And what's good about Sega is a lot of their bangers were first-party titles.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not going to be, getting a bunch of parties involved. Like they have to, coordinate it with a third party and this and that. It could be between Nintendo and Sega for a good amount of the stuff, I would hope. But for me, if it's not a Nintendo platform, I'll leave that to you guys. If I could pick one outside of that, I would love Dreamcast. It'd be a dream come true, really.
There you go.
We all know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would love Dreamcast. So many great games from the Dreamcast that would work. They just fit so well with the Nintendo audience. You know, you got your Crazy Taxis and your Power Stones and your Sonic Adventures and your Shenmues and all that stuff that Nintendo fans would really like. I'm going to go with Xbox because according to Microsoft, not only is this an Xbox, but the Nintendo Switch 2 may also be an Xbox. In fact, everything. My CRT back there might be an Xbox. I don't know.
It needs to be.
Microsoft hasn't told me yet. No. But I could totally see some sort of curated version of Game Pass landing on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up.
Not saying it's likely. I'm just saying I could see it.
It may need to happen though, from a competitive standpoint, okay? Because again, like this guy right here, and I'll talk about it in my review. That's an
Xbox, by the way.
I can play Xbox on here, and I can play PlayStation. I can play my actual like PS5. I can stream that on here too. And from the testing I've done, I hate to say it, but it works far better than the PlayStation Portal. As far as connectivity, far better. Resolutions, like everything's better. I'm like, how is this possible? But I'm thinking about it. It's like, if that can do this, Nintendo's got to really take some serious thought if the offer's out there, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, because, you know, Microsoft just wants to make more money on software. That's where the money's at. It's like, you really got to think about it, because if everyone's going handheld, which I think that is the direction, a serious direction that the market could be going in, to where it kind of shifts to handheld. So you can take your gaming everywhere. Because if you do that, then you spend more money, and they know that. So if Sony, say, does a handheld and accepts a deal with Microsoft, and now you can play all Microsoft games on Sony through Game Pass, you know, you almost have to do it the same thing, right? As from a competitive standpoint, because if you can get Sony, if you can get PlayStation and Xbox on one portable, you know, that's a good deal. So you almost have to do it. So it's going to be interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. It's something I've thought about and talked about on other podcasts too.
So I kind of feel like, for like third-party systems, Nintendo ones always get talked about a lot. They'll do what they want with their platforms when they feel like it. But for the third-party systems on NSO, especially like during the Switch 2 era, I mean, I think the obvious is obviously all the Sega systems.
Yep,
clearly, like that's just a given. Like because we already got one, right? So we already know we got their biggest one. So we already know that those two companies work together. They're close. I think it's highly likely that if Nintendo ever does add GameCube, they'll add Dreamcast at the same time. It'll be a double feature for that, and we might get Saturn before that at some point as well.
That would be such a huge win. Those retro Saturn games are like hundreds of dollars.
They are very expensive, and if they could somehow figure out how to get the license and let us play some Die Hard arcade, I'd be all over that.
That would be sick.
Game's sick.
And I'm only going to throw this out there because of the way Microsoft is. What if they didn't let the OG Xbox on there? Just the OG. I don't think they're going to let anything later than that. But just the OG.
It's an interesting thought.
That would be, you could, because they like Nintendo, clearly.
They do.
So, you know, if they can work out something where they get, you know, X% of whatever the expansion pass is, you know, a couple bucks a month from each member or something, or a year or whatever it is. I forget. I pay a year family pass thing, so I don't worry about it until the bill hits, or until it tells me I can't play online because the bill didn't go through. So yeah, I think that that's a possibility, especially on Switch 2 at some point. I could see, especially to solidify that relationship, because I could see. Well, obviously they're putting their games on everything. They're putting it on Sony and stuff. You know, with Nintendo being projected to be the market leader again with their new system, I can see Microsoft really wanting to strengthen that relationship, really make it strong, make Nintendo fans want to buy Xbox games. So I can see that being.
They should, especially if they're going this software route, which, I believe that is the internal long-term goal. They may not shout it out from the rooftops, but
I mean,
I
basically,
think the writing's on the wall.
They said everything's an Xbox, so I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like, I really feel like the shift to software focus is probably greater than most probably Xbox fans are willing to admit. Is that the hardware is going to be secondary forever, for however long the hardware does last. It's going to be secondary. It's there so you have something to play it on, but really we want you to play it on everything, and we'd prefer to probably not make hardware anymore, and we'd love to eventually phase it out. Like, I think that's kind of the idea, is that they'd like to eventually do that. And obviously, if you're going to go completely digital, which they are, we know that. So you go to the store to buy the console and then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no attach rate when you do it. And that's one of the reasons for having a physical presence.
But yeah, I mean, obviously I'd like them to work out something with Sony, but I know the way Sony is.
Yeah,
like, they can talk about how Nintendo's not competition, and then they make every move that Nintendo is competition. So Sony ain't giving in. But Sega, obviously, that doesn't do it anymore. I can see them. We can go back, get like the TurboGrafx on there.
Yeah.
Get that.
Neo Geo, maybe Neo Geo CD would be cool.
Yeah,
Throw any old Sega console on Switch too.
Yeah.
Just do it.
The old
Throw them all.
Sega CD, Sega 32X.
I mean, I know that people think it like this sounds like a joke, but even the Philips CDI.
I agree.
Why not?
And
Just
even the Jaguar.
Yeah,
Dude,
even
one to gamble on.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like, why not? There's no reason really not to. It's not going to hurt anyone. And it just adds value, and it lets people enjoy these games from an era that, maybe the game sucked, but hey, let us enjoy the suck again. It's okay.
I agree. Yeah. It's a piece of history. You know, like every video game console is all part of the grand story, and who better to be able to tell it right than Nintendo?
Yeah, 3DO. Yeah, all those old systems. I don't see a reason not to, especially for the companies that own the rights to this stuff. There's no real reason not to work with Nintendo and just figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially if they're willing to do the porting for you and make the games run. Like, yeah, why not?
To be fair, there's still plenty of Nintendo games that they need to figure out getting on their services for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, we already know about that. Nintendo, and people always like, oh, well, these Nintendo games that are on there. I'm like, yeah, I know, but Nintendo's planning to trickle games for like decades. Yeah. So we got to remember that, like, they're intentionally not putting quite everything you want on there because they got to get you excited. Like, look, the only game I'm not sure will ever come over from Nintendo is Mother 3. Like, that's the only game that I'm like, I just don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why, and it's a dumb reason. It's a part of history.
Yeah.
It's part of history. It's a dumb reason. The reason you're not letting it on there Nintendo of America is a dumb reason because it's part of history. The fact that I can play it on Japanese NSO and not the local one is stupid.
It's
so
ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah.
I can. Hey, Nintendo, I can already play it on my Switch legally. So it's dumb. But that's the thing. Something major is going to have to change, and I just don't know if that's ever going to change. That's the one game that I'm like, I just don't think Nintendo's ever going to do it in the West. But
maybe they reboot the series.
Yeah. Like getting all the Tingle games, getting all those over and localized would be sick. That'd be sick getting those added in. So there's like so many Nintendo games that aren't, but again, they have a lot of time. They're going to trickle things out for decades. And you think about by the end of the Switch 2 era, how packed the NSO is going to be. I mean, it's going to feel like an essential service. For some people, it already feels like it is. By the end of Switch 2 era, it's going to feel like an essential service for any retro gamer.
Absolutely. I mean, Nintendo, bar none, has the greatest catalog.
Retro gamers that want to keep it legal, Yeah. But like buy the hard copies, but like have a hard time. Hey, some of those games you spend, Saturn games, hundreds of dollars. Not an NSO, man. Go play it. If you just want to play it, there you go.
Next year will be 20 years for Mother 3. That's hard to believe too. 20 years we'll be waiting for it to be localized. That's bad.
Prime is speechless right now.
I know. I'm like, did you
That's
freeze?
You took his breath away. Dude,
No,
you look
no.
like you look like you went into a state of meditation. When
Like you're in
My
stasis.
internet's been kind of flaky the last. I got to see what's going on. I don't know if it's my modem or my router, but I've been having a few flaky internet issues. Andrew, the Nintendo dude, comes in and says, "Double Bucks and Nuggets win. Let's go." Yeah, the Bucks won. Then did the Nuggets win? I wasn't paying
Guessing
attention.
so.
I saw the Cavs won
Did the
against
Suns
the
win?
Thunder.
The Suns win, or are they still playing?
We didn't play.
Oh, you didn't play. I assumed because you were wearing your jacket that maybe they were playing, but
No, they just need the extra support right now. Everyone's falling off the bandwagon. I've seen this happen a million times over the last 30 years.
yeah, the Nuggets won, Trailblazers won, Pistons won. Good for the Pistons, man.
Yeah, especially after last year.
Yeah, really good for them. The Knicks obviously won because the Raptors suck. And yes, I know my Bucks lost to the Raptors. Don't remind me. The 76ers barely won. God, they're just not good. They're just not a good team. Pacers won, Cavs, and obviously the Bucks took care of business. Giannis 2-0 against Wemby. He's still not in his league yet. And he's outplayed him again. They faced each other twice, and Giannis has dominated Wemby both times. Like one thing, because like Wemby gets all the hype, and he's really good.
Mhm.
He's awesome. He's so young, but he's so awesome. But I think Giannis kind of takes it personal when they play.
He does.
I really
he
do.
should, and I like that about him.
Yeah, I think he likes to remind Wemby that all the hype you get, there's levels to this. You ain't on my level.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect his approach.
Yeah, that Giannis does that with very specific players in the NBA, where he wants to remind them, you ain't up here yet, buddy.
That's how it should be.
Get all this pub, get all the hype. I'm a top 2 player for a reason. I like it because he's probably one of the only people in the NBA that can cover Wemby too. So, there's very few people that can even cover Wemby, and Giannis is one of them. So
The NBA's already got Wemby in the script to over as the poster child, and he sees that. Everyone sees it.
Yeah. And as much as Giannis is like, I don't want to be the face of the NBA. Yeah, but you ain't gonna let some kid come in and punk your ass either.
Yep.
You're gonna be like, no, you ain't ready, youngin. You ain't ready for what I bring. Oh, you're 7'3" with this massive wingspan? That's cool, buddy. I could jump just as high and block all your shit.
Yeah, and he's got a lot more weight and muscle.
Now, I don't know if Giannis will be able to do that forever, of course. He just hit 30. So, but yeah, for the next few seasons, I think he can keep Wemby in check. Bino Shadow says, why is the C button only on Joy-Con? And it's on the Switch. I think what you meant to say is, why is it only on the right Joy-Con? Because it's been on all the Pro Controller mock-ups. So I think you meant why it's only on the right. Because otherwise the question doesn't make sense. Because even the rumored Pro Controller stuff has the C button. Had the C button, and it had we talked about it like weeks ago. It had the rumored stuff for the Pro Controller for Nintendo had the headphone jack. It had the C button. So if you talk about why it's only on the right, it is interesting because there's room obviously to have 2 buttons on both sides, but they just don't have one. Now we know the left button on the Joy-Con today on Switch is the capture button, right? You can do your screenshots and your video. And I know some people think maybe the C button is just replacing the capture button, and then that button becomes something else. Possible. They could also like split the video and screenshot, because I know some people get really frustrated with like the press of it. Sometimes it doesn't do the recording, does the screenshot instead, or it does the recording instead of the screenshot. I know some people get frustrated with that. So maybe they decide to split that functionality up. It's possible. They could literally be that simple, and it's not even a new feature. It's just making an old feature better. But for why only on the right? Obviously, it's got to be a single use function that doesn't. That's why, like, even the cursor thing, I question if it could mean cursor, because what if you're left-handed, you're using the left Joy-Con for your mouse? No C button. You still have to hit the right. You still have to hit the button on the right to turn it on and off, which you still can do because you'll probably have that controller in your hand, but it might just feel like, well, it's less intuitive then. So it's possible, like even C being cursor isn't like a for sure thing just because cursor starts with C. The letter C might not even have to do with the name or whatever they call it.
I was thinking that too.
You know,
because it's not. It's the way it's written is not a traditional C.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a box. It looks like a boxy kind of C.
Yeah. It might just be so you could feel the difference between the buttons without looking.
Yeah, to help you see.
Yeah. So it literally could be anything. I know like a community or a chat function or something like that seems to be the most popular take. I also wondered if they bring a feature like what is it on Xbox? I forget the quick resume. The quick resume. What if that's what it is? It's a quick resume feature. You only need one button for that then. Right? Little quick resume, pop out the menu, go pop around your different games with quick resume. If you got the SSD for it, why not? They got enough RAM for it because that feature exists on Series S. So there's, it's one of those things that I really like that feature on Xbox. By the way, to be fair, guys, it only really works well. It only really works in single player games that don't require the internet. But
could be a microphone button too for like mute.
Sure. Yeah, it could literally be a mute button because we've seen all the models seem to have a microphone,
which could stand for chat or communication button. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know everything's been about the C, but maybe it's not that. So the answer is we don't really know because we don't know what it means or what it's for. But I think once we see it'll just make sense why we only have it on one Joy-Con, why it's not on both.
Yeah.
Why it's probably also on the Pro Controller because even just muting the mic would make sense because there's a lot of people that don't like the mics being on stuff. Like they like to turn that stuff off.
And the mic would be a huge deal. I feel like that would be a huge deal because it's like that's looking like, oh, we don't need to use the stupid phone app. There's going to be some sort of dedicated chat.
Absolutely.
Built in, which that's a big deal.
Yep.
Sad to say that it like this, this late, but Nintendo doesn't have it right now. So for Nintendo fans, that's huge. I don't know about you guys. I don't use the app at all. I'll just call someone on Discord or
I messed with the app a couple times. And it's fine. It works. But here's the thing. To organize the game, I have to use something else. And that's the fundamental issue. It's not even that it's not local on Switch. Even in your app, I can't message my friends in the app and set up a game sesh. I have to use something. I have to use Discord. I have to call them in real life. So if I have to already do that, then why am I using your app?
Mm-hmm.
If I have to use a different app to communicate when we're going to play, then why would I use your app? And to be fair, that app was supposed to have 1 billion different functionalities, according to Reggie Fils-Aimé back in 2017. When he announced they were working on it, it had all this really cool ideas. None of them happened. Maybe they'll refresh it and it'll happen on Switch too. But it's wild that like Nintendo clearly had way bigger ambitions, and then they just decided, nope, we're out. Like, dude, you waited like 2 years to do NSO. Wait till the app's ready. All right, we had another super chat come in here from Michael Parker. Really hoping that we'll finally see F-Zero and Kid Icarus. What if you're able to mount an additional Switch on top of the Switch 2, like a 3DS? Can you imagine that's what the C port's for? They give us a little C2C connector, a little dongle. You just just hook up 2 Switch 2.
I'm in.
What if you do that and then you dock it and you get twice the power?
Oh my gosh. You know what's beautiful about that? Here's what's beautiful about that. The Switch 2 is bigger than the Switch. So you have this OG Switch on the bottom like a DS, which is the smaller touchscreen.
Don't trade your Switch in, baby. Don't trade it in. You're making a mistake if you trade it in. They enable double screen. You hook your Switch up to... Man, I was joking around about like the double the power thing because everyone talks about, all right, in reality, all we care about with Switch 2 is how many Switches duct taped together is it? Well, Nintendo took that literal. They took that literal. You can double your power, baby. Just hook them up. Oh, that'd be so funny. Oh man, I think the ongoing joke is how many GameCubes it is. I wonder how many GameCubes duct taped together would it be? The funny thing is, like, we joke around about it. Old school PS3s, like, they got put in the server farms for a while because they were actually really efficient at certain server tasks back in the day. Anyways. All right. As for like the F-Zero and Kid Icarus, I mean, who doesn't want that? Even if you're not a fan of those games, it's not like you're going to be mad that they're back. Right? I mean, F-Zero, you can argue they might have been testing the water with that F-Zero 100 stuff or 99 or whatever. Yeah, 99. Which, by the way, is really good. F-Zero 9 is really good. And the fact that they even did an update to it later, like, dude, hell yeah, dude. That gives me a lot of hope that we're going to get mainline F-Zero back. All right. Now the show, I think, is over. Let me just double check. I'm the last person that's got to sign out. But hey, super chats can keep going until we're done. All right. So I am Nathaniel Ruffalo-Jantz from Nintendo Prime. You guys can catch me on my Nintendo Prime YouTube channel. Right now, it's pretty much Switch 2 rumors and leaks every single day. It'll change once it's revealed, and then we have game stuff to talk about, which now we've kind of decided that's also when we're going to change the podcast up a little bit and go to season 2, because then we'll finally be back to talking about games, which will be really, really exciting, because we have talked about some games sparingly here and there over the last 37 episodes, but it's been a lot of Switch 2 rumors and leaks, because that's just been what's been going on with Nintendo that I'm interested in and most people are interested in. Maybe if we get like a Xenoblade overview trailer or something that is hinted to be coming, maybe that is a topic next week. We'll see if it's crazy, because there is new content coming to the game. And I don't know how many people in our crew has played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know I have. Maybe I'll have to get someone on. Well, we already have kind of a pack show. I'm sure someone next week will have played it, I think. Nick with no K has probably played Xenoblade Chronicles X. Because he's on next week. Oh, by the way, a little bit of podcast news. Next week is also the debut of a new co-host. So hopefully you guys welcome him in with open arms. Some of you guys know if you watch my live streams. Most of you guys on the podcast don't know. The podcast crew obviously does. Mm-hmm. So you guys can say hi to him next week, because at the conclusion of this show, the chat with Stash and Eric is not the chat I talk about the podcast in anymore. Right. It goes to the chat with all 4 of us. So that'll be real. Literally, when the show is done, I'm gonna start being like, all right, welcome, buddy. Now the real show begins. So I hope you guys look forward to the new co-host. Obviously, we have a pack show. We have 7 people with the new co-host starting next week. Is that the week Switch 2 gets revealed? I guess we'll find out. I want to thank everyone for being here. You guys are awesome. And be sure to check out our podcast. Everywhere podcasts are heard. If you prefer audio over video, we are on every audio place. I get the podcast up the day after it's live. And we have a Nintenbyte Clips channel as well that you guys can go check out, where I split off the video segments into individual segments. And shout out, by the way, who's the name? I've never shouted them out on a show. There's a person that makes all the timestamps every week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. I want to shout them out, man. That's work. I know it's work because I won't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I literally won't do it because I ain't gonna go back through a 4-hour show. Raven Bonnie 2267 literally goes through, breaks down all the stuff. Lets you know where the top of roulette is and the intros are. Just everything. It does a great job. Shout out to them because literally I use those timestamps to make the clips, so it also helps me out. So I really do appreciate that. I know it helps out a lot of you guys watching the show after as well. And shout out to all you viewers. Last week was our record episode at 7.4K. I'm like 99% sure we already beat that before we even got off air. So this is probably the new record episode, but I don't know what the views are at until it's all said and done. So thank you guys for supporting the podcast with the super chats, with the views. Hopefully you guys really enjoy the show. Clearly we're building something special here. The views keep going up every single week. So you guys must be enjoying what we're building. We want to keep building this show to be the best Nintendo podcast that you can find out there in 2025. We're going to keep building. And be sure to go down in the comments afterwards and let us know what ways you think we could improve the show as well. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you same time next week, unless there's another reason that it's a different time on a different day, which would make us all excited. That would make us very excited if there was a different time, a different day that we had to be here. Bye, everyone.
Later.
You stop by for the Nintenbyte. You got the Triforce and it feels right. Like Bowser, you can listen all night, singing Peaches until the sunlight. Summer shoots her beam so bright. Master Hand always brings a fight. Catch 'em all and use that fire blast. Put the soul back to visit your past. Welcome.